Yo, K2, how you doing today? Tonight? Hope everybody's doing fine. We're gonna be doing a small review of Manar, of Manure. This is gonna be one of those episodes that I hope brings everybody hella joy. Now, I went this late for two reasons. One, I wanted the full thing to be done as much as possible so that I could actually go on and review it and not feel anything about it, like not feel any kind of bad about it. And the second reason why I wanted to go a little bit long is because I was at Confluence panel, and that guy's crazy. that guy was crazy. I tried to explain that you have certain things like knowledge, and he was just crazy. I have to sleep now that the after show is over. Damn. Well, fuck it. Thanks for passing by. If I, like and sub if you're not, all the cool stuff. Let's go ahead and let's get everything ready and set up so that I can do these. Good sweets. It is what it is. Hopefully we're gonna have a little bit of people watching. I'm gonna try to get these going. I wasn't expecting the Confluence panel, to be honest. I was like happy about it. I went over there and he was like, come on up. And I was trying to explain that we use like metaphysical terms or supernatural terms all the time. For me, the supernatural would be like knowledge, or anything that is not confined to the physical world. That is the whole point of metaphysics in my view. Obviously, I'm not saying that you have to believe that. It's just the way that I see it, pretty much. I'm gonna be building my first Space Marine, probably these. It's not Friday, not Saturday. Well, probably pretty soon. So, let me go ahead to Speakeasy's channel. We're gonna go over there. We're gonna start it. He already stopped. His debate. So I'm gonna go ahead and start reviewing it. I don't want this to go uber long. The whole point of it is to have a laugh because Manure is completely out of whack. And also, let me get everything set up real quick. This, we're gonna get these. This here. Oy vey, K2. I have to keep this in the notes. That was so miserable. One just got beaten, denying all aspects of objectivity purely in spite of, or in the comment of being a contrarian. That was crazy. It's 2 + 2 = 4 right now. It's like, oh damn. Yeah, fuck you. That was fun though. That was really, really, really fun. I have never had like I've seen a lot of people being crazy. That one was top 10 crazy. Okay, that was a top 10 crazy moment in my YouTube career. Shut up. One of the things that I'm gonna do by building my Space Marines and talking about Warhammer is to make them stop being super gay. But no, in reality, the actual lore and what you can actually get with Space Marine is extremely based. It's just the people are like creating the lore now and work there are a little bit on the hyper liberal side. But it is what it is. See you later. Fucking have a great one. Oy vey. It is an oy vey stream. Hopefully we get a little bit of what is it called? Of donos tonight, maybe. It's not actually like I'm gonna be grifting, to be honest. Just would be nice. It would be nice. Okay. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and do this one. This is a very, very interesting one. Like I've been wanting to see this debate in a long time. We're gonna go ahead and watch a lot of the differences between one of the interpretations and another interpretation. There's gonna be a lot of epistemology and epistemic claims and things like that that are interesting, but not uber interesting or beyond interesting. I yeah, that was fun. That was real fun. That was really fun to see, and that was really fun to be able to get it going. Anyway, let's start. Remember to always, if you're looking at this here, go over there, support both Martae and Speak Easy. I'm gonna add them to the description, both of their channels. They are great creators. Okay, so just go over there and support them. Which I'm not going to. I really don't like Manar. Okay, if there's a person in this world that I think is horrible, it's him. It could be worse, but I really don't like Manar. God, this is so dumb. He's so dumb. Dude, that was the greatest destruction I've ever seen. Am I the only one that can't hear it? Oh, my apologies. I'm gonna go ahead and put it up. Thank you for letting me know, Ghoulie. I'm gonna restart it so that
the IQ
we both can hear this horrible person.
His YouTube channel is also linked in the description. And with that, we're going to get into the opening statements. Manar, you're going to start off. So whenever you're ready, Manar, I will start the timer up with your voice. And again, thank you both for being here.
Thank you, Speak Easy, for allowing us to be here. Thank you, Martae, for challenging me. And thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here. And actually, let me give you a backup story on the challenge that I was given, because I think this is very important. This actual debate, cousin marriage should be legal. And
you know, one of the few things that I will say is that there's a lot of inbreeding as well when it comes to the Jewish population. So, I'm sorry about that, you know. Oh, the Middle East has some challenges.
Socially accepted, stemmed out, I believe, from Andrew's lover boy method being displayed and deployed on his minions, for say. Andrew Wilson came up and debated Daniel Haqiqa Chu and argued for 3 hours straight how cousin
Daniel Pikachu, fucking Pikachu, got destroyed in that debate so badly.
Marriage produces indecency or whatever it is when it comes.
No, produces stupid people like you.
To the IQ that he depraved to be the moral compass for all of societies to hedge upon, because if you don't have this high IQ.
You know, one of the things that I'm starting to realize is that there's no way that they can exist, but they do. It's like, I don't even understand how they exist. I literally, quite literally, saw a debate today where the guy was unable to provide a proper definition of hypocrisy, and he had to be like, well, yeah, if you commit one hypocritical thing ever, you're always a hypocrite. It was such a bad debate. It was such a bad debate. Oh man. And now we have these fuckers. They're like, well, I don't understand the argument. Like, how do they even exist? Probably because, you know, the dads and the moms, or probably cousins. In his case, his brother and sister.
Then you're going to be ruled over by higher IQ, blah, blah, blah. Because of that, a bunch of small little, you know, their teeth are coming out, started crawling out of their duggins and started coming out trying to challenge Muslims, thinking they have the ability, though depraved they are, to challenge
to have the ability
us upon the morality and legality and the essence socially being accepted of cousin marriage. Are you joking? All the facts are on my side, Martae, and today is your day of humiliation. Get the funeral books, open them up. Where's the casket? I hope you wrote your will, because the music you were playing, we will play that soon, but it will be for your end. Absolutely unbelievable. Cousin marriage should be legal. Well, it is! All 50 states allow cousin marriage. Oh, maybe he's talking specifically about first cousin marriage, because second, third, and fourth completely legal through every single states in the United States of America with 0 exceptions. Now, first cousin marriage, there are certain exceptions. So is that?
Oh, wait. Oh my God. Let me go ahead and make my little differentiation. You know, technique. Actually, he did the actually. Actually, it is illegal because there's like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16. You know, everybody's like 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 or 11 or 20 or everybody's a cousin, you know. We all are. Everybody's a brother and sister in reality. We are sons and daughters of Adam and Eve. Yep, these people are that dumb. These people are that dumb.
That Martae's argument that first cousin marriage is immoral, illegal, and socially unacceptable. And don't worry, I've got an answer for that as well. But the only way for him to argue illegality, he would have to present that it is the first cousin marriage that is the issue. And he's going to actually fail because almost half of the states allow first cousin marriage, and the rest make exceptions as long as you follow the genetic processes and the genetic planning and being able to administer a couple of extra testing. They will allow you to go through that marriage nonetheless. So legality, I mean, I'm surprised what he's going to be able to come up with. And by the way, guys, I predict not only is he going to yawn a lot in this debate, he's also going to talk over me a lot, guys. Watch this prediction.
Now, he's going to be like the victim because he always calls victimhood. Like, he will go ahead, interrupt you. He starts sparking. He will spark forever. He will not answer questions. He will ask him, hey, 2 + 2 = 4. And he will be like, yes. Oh, the manure debate. You're in for a good one, David. So we're gonna see him bitch and moan. Oh, and he's already presenting to his audience like, I'm gonna bitch and moan. I'm gonna bitch and moan. This guy.
And watch it fulfill itself to reality, because he really has nothing. Further on, maybe his argument is first cousin marriage. I will allow it, and I will address this in a second. Scientifically, cousin marriage, third and fourth, is almost identical in the risk of sickle cell anemia and all these genetic mutations and diseases that he might be attributing to first cousin marriage. Third and fourth and second, up to second cousin marriage even, almost identical risks as all stranger marriages. So the only scientific problem in
well, if you are like 7 steps removed from your cousin. Like at that point, it's like normal. It's like the same thing. Navy Baby Bree, good to see you. Thank you for being here. It's funny how he's like, oh well, we're all related. It's like if you have 3rd or 5th or 7th cousin. In reality, what he's this is gonna become very, very interesting very, very soon.
Genetically as well has to come from first cousin marriages because they produce the highest amounts of risks, besides obviously actual incestuous relationships with mother and daughter and son, which morally I will present the evidence as why those are illegal and why cousin marriage was never legalized. So from those, first cousin marriage is the one that attributes to the highest amount of risk. But according to the studies, and I will present you the names of the actual articles and NIH consanguineous studies show that as long as you present education to the community and the resources available so they can do parental screening. And what is parental screening and genetic screening? They test their genetics to see if they're actually carrying the diseases, to see if they are actually...
Yeah, this is very funny because all of these things are like very new. Do you know what they didn't have at the time and the way they still don't have in the Middle East? All of these fucking screenings he's talking about. It's like he goes on and pretends, oh well, if you do all of these tests and all of these little things and you have all of these little stuff, you can do it. Did they have any of that in the... Oh. And they still do it and don't have it? Oh. Interesting. It's fucking interesting how these people are so dumb. Really dumb.
Higher risk if they're going to do a consanguineous marriage. It's extremely easy to work around. You can, even if you're at higher risk, you could still choose to have...
And you can even see it, because if you look at the maps in the IQ and you go to the... Like, if you go ahead and look at the maps in IQ, it's like, that specific region has a specific IQ problem, and all of the places around that are Christian don't have that problem. Huh. Interesting how that goes.
The baby, you just go through extra procedures and you're kept a closer eye upon. So that's all that is actually necessary. And when you do these screenings and you do these precautions, the risk is almost identical to the rest of the society. So the argument, by the way, from genetic mutation and risk is all...
What's causing stuff, you ask, Denizen? Well, let me tell you. Causing stuff is when a bunch of Muslims decide that they want to go on and fuck their cousins and marry them and have kids with them. And then the IQ drops in the population. If you have a lot of fire extinguishers in your house, you can play with fire inside your house and not completely burn it down. Yeah, exactly. That's how it goes. Didn't you know that, David?
Also going to fail because you're going to argue that anything that presents itself as a genetic risk should be eliminated. Therefore, women over 40 having children should not have children anymore because it presents a genetic mutation risk at the baby. Women that have already have genetic diseases like Down syndrome, you would argue they should never be ever be able to actually have kids because almost guaranteed their children are going to have these deformities. What is your argument? If we were...
Watch Fallout episode 1. True. Hey Abe, how you doing? Good to see you.
To believe the argument of genetic disorders, even though they are mitigated, if we were to believe you and allow you to accept this argument that only the perfect have to be genetically perfect couple.
The perfect? It's so weird. His whole arguments are so weird.
Will have to marry each other and get babies, then this would actually lead to much more moral problems. Finally, guys, biblically, are you kidding me? This guy calls himself a Christian. He calls himself a Christian. He's coming to argue against me about cousin marriage. Are you arguing that all the prophets, and I'm going to name them right now, Jacob, the father of Israel, oh my...
So, let's start with this. He claims to be able to have the correct interpretation of all that happened in the Bible. Now, I ask him how. I still don't know how. I don't even know if he knows how. It's like... So I asked him today again, and he says, well, I have to talk to scholars. And I was like, oh, you go to authority. Well, I go to authority as well. But my authority is correct because it's the church, and your authority is wrong because the scholars are not the authority of Christianity. It's that simple. You know who the authority is? The church. Now, people pretend that when I say the church, I'm talking about all of the churches in the world. which is not true. There's specific churches that are Christian churches. That is the point of Christianity, okay? That is an objective standard. That's how you get to Christianity. Otherwise, Christianity means nothing. Which is what happens when we saw the debate with Jim Bob. Jim Bob asked him, is there any objective standard? And the Mormon guy was like, no. So anything is Christian, right? And he would agree because he has the same kind of authority. If you ask him about Islam, he will tell you, I have my authority in Islam. The imams are the authority. They're supposed to proceed over all of Islam. So that's the same with Christianity. It's a lot more fractured in a sense thanks to the Great Schism. Yeah. Yes, a woman over 40 should lay off the baby sauce. I accept your terms. It is what it is. Isaac and Rebecca. There's also like Abraham said that he supposedly married the sister, but I'm not entirely sure that is the case. I think it's more of a tribal thing. It's like they were considered to be brothers and they were considered to be sisters inside the same tribe. It was like very tribalistic stuff in the back. So this is why interpretation is like so important, and this is why you need the people who have the authority to make the interpretation. Quran is just a propaganda manual. The only supernatural the Quran is Muhammad rode a goat, light speed to Mecca. Yeah, it's true. We played banjo. It's also over 700 years older. Give Islam some time. The West is a way of yeah, that's true. But the reason why it happens like that as well is because we the Catholic Church and all of the small schisms within it.
God, Jacob, the father of Israel, married Rachel, and he had a second wife, Leah. Both of them are first cousins. He is the father of all of Israel. He's Abraham, his son Isaac. He is the one that got him to marry Rebecca. And Rebecca is Isaac's actual cousin, all attributable to be. She's the granddaughter.
So there you go. You don't know. It's like, what kind of, maybe. Like, you just say a bunch of shit. You just say whatever the fuck he wants about the interpretation of it, right? That's why he goes wishy-washy in these kind of things, because you actually are dealing with a scholar, like an actual scholar of Christianity. Then you have these kind of problems. If you are looking at the church, like the authoritative side, which I was doing, it's like my argument is I have authority, and authority has the correct interpretation of the Bible, and they said that this is okay to do. Then the authority that they have is giving them the correct interpretation. There's other arguments. It's not only that one, but it's a very easy argument to do with someone that doesn't have any kind of proper form of giving you epistemology. So if you ask him, well, how do you know this is true, and they don't know how to tell you this is true, you can just simply say, well, fuck you.
It's close.
That's simple.
So all throughout the Bible, also in the Quran, we have the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, evidence of him marrying his cousin Zainab. I
like his accent here. It sounds like he said peace be upon him.
Be 100% accurate here. Zainab bint Jahsh, his own cousin, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, married her, and also he allowed.
Why the fuck do we care? Why the fuck would we care what the fucking peace be upon him? Indeed, don't give a shit. It's a heretic in our view.
The marriage of his own daughter to his cousin Ali bin Abi Talib, one of his
Ali
first disciples.
Ali Baba.
So showcasing that all the prophets, Quranically, biblically, Abraham, Jacob, the father of the Israels, and the father of basically all the Jews.
the father of the Israels, and then the other prophets is the other prophets is Muhammad and whoever the fuck it was. How about Isaac? Sorry, not Isaac. How about Isaiah? How about Jeremiah? Peace be upon him. It's just peace. Peace be upon him. Like this way. That's exactly how it sounds when he says it.
All of them attributed and did allowed and forced and actually consummated these marriages. Prophet Muhammad himself consummated his cousin's marriage to his daughter. So now I want to hear the arguments. We destroyed the legality because it is already illegal. What is he going to argue? He's going to change the law? It reminds me of the progressives. We argue.
Yeah, we can change the law. What the fuck are you talking about? We want to change a lot of laws. Didn't you remember? We want to abolish abortion, for example. Welcome. You're not the only guys who can use authority.
But scientifically, any risks that are attributable to these first cousin marriages, and they're really only attributable to the first cousin marriages, are not only mitigatable with extra screening. Honestly, they're negligent. They're negligent. The regular average, national average.
They're negligent. You know what? Let's go ahead and look at list of countries by IQ. This doesn't seem fun. This doesn't seem correct. These are different kinds of numbers. Oh, this is wrong. Here it is. Yemen, 62. Saudi Arabia, 73. The United Arab Emirates, 82. Sudan, 78. Libya, 80. Okay. By the way, you need 83. You need 83. 83 to be accepted into the militia. Look at these. Look at this bullshit. Nepal, 42. Damn. India, 76. 80. Pakistan is barely 80. Iraq is 89. Interesting. Syria. Iran is 80. Israel is 92. Yeah, look at this. So, Nicaragua, 84, Honduras, Guatemala, 47. Jesus Christ. I show on the panel, sharing the young turds promoting yes, I know. I'm gonna do some reviews tomorrow and stuff. That seems cool. Anyway, so there you go. There's the IQ. Okay. It's negligible, guys. And even if it happened, it's good actually. Who's the actual one that is being a complete lefty here? Oh, it's Manar. Manar is like, it's not happening, but if it happens, it's good actually.
In the United States of America is between 2 to 4%. That's the genetic disorders, and the average between first cousin marriages is between 4 to 7%. It's just 2% extra. It's negligent. It's absolute ludicrous to say that this is why we shouldn't have them marry. And then finally, biblically, almost every single prophet, and also according to Leviticus, and I'm gonna have
almost every single prophet. And the question is, why did you mention 2? I would have a list ready. I would have a list ready of them, and I would not mention fucking Muhammad. Why would I care about Muhammad? I'm gonna do some reviews tomorrow and so. Yeah, I read that already. Yeah, that will be fun.
I have to read some Leviticus law right now because this is really nice. Well, I'll read one last thing before I read Leviticus. I'm not gonna read Leviticus law, but I will read from the Bible. Look at this. This is Numbers 36, 6 to 9. This is what the Lord commands for Zelophehad's daughters. They may marry anyone they please as long as they marry within their father's tribal clan. No inheritance in Israel is to pass from one tribe to another, for every Israelite shall keep the tribal inheritance of their ancestors. Every daughter who inherits land in any Israelite tribe must marry someone in her father's tribal clan, so that every Israelite will possess the inheritance of their ancestors. No inheritance may pass from one tribe to another, for each Israelite tribe is to keep the land it inherits. So this actual verse here not only condemns marrying outside of your, not only supports and forces.
No, he didn't know what the fuck he was saying. Manar must be related to the Torps. Probably, at this point. To be honest and to be fair, like, I have no beef with them and never had any bad interaction with them. Now, I haven't barely interacted with them. I just had the one debate, but that's good since I had a debate and it never went beyond. Manar the Destroyer, destroyer of his own mind.
It condemns you to marry outside of your actual imminent family. And what is it talking about? Your brothers and sisters? No, it's talking about cousins, first, second, third, and so on. And that's my argument here. I'm really interested in Martae's lover boy display, and we'll see, guys. Maybe he gets me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he's not going to overtalk me. We'll see today in this debate.
Who do you think is going to be the overtalker?
Thank you for that opening statement, Manar. And with that, we are going to hand the mic over to Martae. Whenever, you have a video there ready to present. So
yeah, but I do want to say something before the video starts. You can start the timer right now. Speak
okay,
easy.
So just let me know when you want the video presented.
I'll let you know when the video is going to present. It's probably going to be in 10 seconds. So you said it condemns us to have relationships outside of family. Yeah, that's actually for my whole argument, actually, too. And then not to mention this, you bring up Leviticus law. There's nothing that the standard saying that we have to marry within family. Yeah, a tribe can be totally different. That's a whole.
You stole my word. The Sandy word. It's fine. You can everybody can use it. Just call them Sandys. The reason why I call them Sandys is because if I use any of the other ones, people might get like really mad. But I really enjoy calling them Sandys. It's really funny.
Whole thing.
They're like, go fuck over there and fuck with your sandcastles.
Analogous to family as well too, but then when you bring up the percents, it's only 2% more. But then obviously, donkey pull cart, not good at mathematics and multiplication. If you times that by 2, cousins and cousins and cousins, you end up at 32, and next thing you know, you end up at 47, and next thing you know, this multiplies, and sickle cell anemia and all this pursues. So anyways, speak easy, hit the video. Thank you, appreciate it.
I don't like, for some reason, whenever they try to present videos, it's really wrong. It looks really bad. I don't know if it's a problem with StreamYard or if it's a problem with or the internet just sucks, but yeah. Sandy Vagine. Sandy Vagine.
Is that the whole debate? Okay, good. All right, so that's pretty freaking amazing. So he's done. It's over.
Sandy Vagine.
It's over for him. I mean, it's over, baby. That's it. That's the debate, baby. Oh man, that's my opening statement. I mean, it's a long opening statement, by the way.
Of course, I would expect Donkey Pull Cart IQ to reveal his whole strategy, arguments, and opening statement weeks before a debate happens. Gee, thanks for the free prep package, bro. Just handed me your whole L on a silver platter.
The video was it's not the video that is terrible, it's the frame rate and whatever was happening with the connections. That's what's actually terrible. Like the cool thing about it is that he actually prepared himself really well. I will say that to Martae. Yeah, it's a 3 FPS.
So my opponent tonight is going to use the research of a Mr.
And like 180. The resolution is like 180p.
Alan H. Biddles tonight. A lot of this research has been cherry-picked and also used from a marginalized source of people. That's an extreme minority, and that's where he gets his research from. This guy argues that inbreeding risk, like cousin marriages or inbreeding, are often exaggerated with only a small increase in birth defects, around 2 to 4%. However, evidence shows a significant genetic harm. Here are the key examples in turn. So we have the Habsburg dynasty. Centuries of royal inbreeding led to the Habsburg jaw, which means that there was a severe underbite and facial deformities and health issues. King Charles II of Spain was so disabled he couldn't chew food or produce heirs. All of this ended their bloodline. Next, we have the Amish communities. Due to close group marriages, they have high rates of rare disorders like Ellis Van Cribbold syndrome, which is dwarfism with extra fingers and toes, cystic fibrosis, muscular dystrophy, far more than the generalized population. Next, we have recessive diseases in isolated groups. That's where your research comes from Alan H. Biddles. He only gets this from isolated groups. That's where his studies come from, and this is easily debunked because
he's using dial-up. Listen, okay? He has black internet. You can't blame him. It's not on him.
Cherry picks in places like Pakistan, North Africa, with common cousin or inbreeding marriages. Kids face elevated risk of thalassemia, which is severe anemia, sickle cell disease, deafness, blindness, congenital heart defects, leading to a 3% higher child mortality rate. Next, we have inbreeding depression. Yes, this is a thing. Overall inbreeding boosts harmful recessive genes, causing reduced fertility, weaker immune systems, and more birth defects, as seen in animal studies and human data from inbred populations as well. These real-world cases highlight why inbreeding is risky, even if every case isn't disastrous. Islam is stupid.
Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar! Allah Akbar!
Sounds like Manar's chomping at the bit. Okay, Speakeasy, you can close this out so I can begin my opening statement.
So, and I'll begin my opening statement. Maybe you might want to put him on mute for this one. While first cousin marriage is legal in about 18 to 19 U.S. states and restricted or banned in the rest, social acceptance would be harmful due to proven genetic risk, public health costs, and societal consequences. Genetic health risk include children of first cousins face roughly double the risk of birth defects and autosomal recessive disorders compared to unrelated parents. So the 3% that Manar states actually goes up to 4%, 4 to 6% risk. It actually.
Once again, it's the black internet, okay? It's the black internet. Stupid blackie. Oh man. Someday I'll get my blackie on my panel. It's gonna be like he's gonna come up. So, are you attacking all the blacks? I'll be like, no, but I will. If you wanna go there, I will.
It doubles. And I repeat, it doubles when you have more family members. And guess what? When you add multipliers onto this, it actually triples. And guess what? You can go down the line. I know you may not be good at math, but multiplication, very hard for you, bro. So studies like the Bradford, UK, which I can also bring up too with multiple reviews, includes higher rates of congenital anomalies like birth defects and rare genetic conditions, often leading to lifelong health issues. And here's the thing, though. You talk about legalities all the time, but you have to commercialize this. Picture this. A dating app that's commercialized for people. We're producing a society of inbred people in the dating market. Do you want to go ahead and screw somebody that could be in the movie Wrong Turn or somebody from The Hills Have Eyes on a dating app? And I'm not even talking about people with flippers or anything like that. We're talking about elevated genetic risk being introduced to your family. As a society, how do you even commercialize this?
Get that reparations into the internet. Well, you will need people who is able to install the reparations into the internet, right? Besides, how are you gonna get it if you're all spending all your money in those Nikes? The black internet law. Ask yourself this question: what is more important, a Jordan Air or a little old dial-up? No, the airs. The airs. We get some dial-up later.
Hey, we have an inbred dating app full of people who are from inbred families, from Hills Have Eyes and all that stuff. We don't want that. So normalizing this would encourage isolated multi-generation inbreeding in subgroups. So when he says, I want to close your family together and it prevents closer knit ties, yes, a little bit too close. So if we're thinking about this, the Hills Have Eyes, inbred mutants preying on outsiders or Wrong Turn, cannibalistic hillbillies from the isolation and close breeding kin, while exaggerated, these depict real dangers, marginalized groups, or they're going to be compounded with defects, reducing social integration. While we can say the first few offsets of inbreeding are going to be at 2 to 3%, but guess what? This gets compounded, which is even worse. In conclusion, it's pretty bad. Queen Victoria, Charles Darwin, and Albert Einstein have something in common. They all married the first cousins. You think Darwin, of all people, would have known better after marrying a first cousin? And to me, this is bad. With bad genes leads to deadly genetic mutations. Right. So here's the thing, though. So grandparents, genetically speaking, means they share 0.2% of their DNA, not much when you compare it to the third, second, especially first cousins. And the more DNA you share, the greater chance your offspring will have genetic diseases like cystic fibrosis or sickle cell anemia. But here's the thing, though, Manar, you don't have to be sick in order to give your child a genetic disease. Take cystic fibrosis. It's caused by a defect in the CFTR gene. But you need 2 copies of the the defective gene to actually get the disease. So if you only have 1 defective copy, Manar, you're unaffected. Instead, you're what's called a carrier. Now, if 1 carrier with a non-carrier, there's no risk of the kids getting sick. But when both parents carry a defective copy of CFTR, then the kids have a 25% chance of inheriting 2 copies of the gene now. You're actually increasing danger. See how dangerous this is? Marrying your first cousin, you might as well bang your sister. How close are we going
Might as well bang your sister. Man, I love that one. That's super cool. Or to kill this or watching later on is this. Yeah, this is really good. I wasn't sure, so we played Monopoly instead. Well, welcome. We're gonna be watching this for a little while. Damn, he's doing a good opening. Even the video was okay.
going to get to this? To me, that doesn't really make any sense either. So if you think about this, we have to do math now, Manar. I know, very hard for donkey pull cart IQ here, but calculate the chances that 2 first cousins both carry the same copy of the same genetic disease since they both share sets of grandparents. We'll start there now because it becomes a game of what ifs. What if both parents are carriers versus just one? If one of their children is a carrier versus not at all, what if those children marry other carriers or not? It can get very complicated very quickly, but scientists have crunched the numbers, and it turns out the risk that cousins who have a kid who inherits a genetic disease is 4 to 7% more likely than average for the general population. So it's 3 to 4%. No big deal, right? Here's the catch, though, because that's what he's going to say. So he brings up Biddle's study. By the way, my opponent held a stream beforehand, and this stream was detailing all of his arguments weeks before this debate and showed Biddle's and his flawed research, which shows cherry-picked.
I'm gonna be honest, I just went in, I crashed the panel, I started spurting on him. But it's because he doesn't get it. I can make any kind of arguments. It's like, the church, you mean the Catholic Church? It's like, no. And he's like, the Catholics say this. Like, okay, well, that was not the church, okay? That's not what we meant by the church, but fine.
Results from marginalized groups. It doesn't show an overwhelming populace or a consensus of examples that go with what his narrative is. And actually, not to mention this, imagine a fighter, and I'm going to fight Manar in a ring, and that's going to happen. And Manar says, come out to my arena and check out my fight moves before this debate happens.
I'd rather watch this than Congress. Well, thank you. I guess.
Literally, that's what he did in this debate. Showed his whole hand and whole ass.
Why is he doing that? He's so gay. He's so fucking gay, dude. He's so gay.
Before starting this debate. No homo, by the way. So there are thousands that could be hiding in your family tree, plus your kids also marry their first cousins, and their kids marry their first cousins.
Oh, look at that. It's a little bit more of that black internet showing up.
It's a recipe for disaster because instead of introducing new genes, recessive genes, which is really bad, you're recycling old and possibly dangerous ones. Take Emperor Ferdinand, the first of Austria. His parents were first cousins twice over, and then he was born not especially healthy. So far as marrying your cousin's concerned, you shouldn't make it a family tradition because it's inherently bad. Not only this, but we're compounding interest of bad genetic diseases when this happens. Sure, Manar, you can make an argument for why you should bang your sister, which is typically what you're doing right now. You might as well just skip a generation and say, I'm banging my uncle's daughter. But that's the thing, though. You're compounding the interest, and it makes it even worse. Ladies and gentlemen, he's going to say 2% isn't that bad, but then it's 4, then it's 16. How close do you want to go? Banging your sister? I can see my time.
Thank you for that opening statement, Martae.
Kind of funny that he's like really wanted to jump in. He's like, this is opening statements, dude. It's still opening statements, dude.
With that, we are going to get into the 5-minute uninterrupted rebuttals. So this is where each debater will have 5 minutes uninterrupted to respond to anything they've heard in the openings or maybe something they wanted to say in their opening.
I really like the rebuttals. This is actually really good idea by Easy.
So with that, Manar, whenever you are ready for your uninterrupted rebuttal, I will start the timer up with your voice.
Thank you, thank you. Sorry, guys, I was a little bit shocked. I started laughing. I've never in my life debated somebody so bad at debates. He has to make a video to debate me. I just think it actually says a lot about me that my opponent is scared to actually come forwards and argue. He has to make a video about the facts.
What the fuck does that mean? Dude, you both are arguing. He's scared of arguing with me. No. Not at all.
4-5 weeks before the debate. I think that's hilarious. And it also agrees with this idea that people are obsessed with me for some reason. I don't know why. I'm in people's heads. Anyways, so here's my opponent's argument, guys. I mean, does anybody know if my opponent is Christian, Jewish? Does anybody know what the religion of my opponent is? He an
What does it matter what he's like, oh, do you know what their religion is? Nobody cares. I was just mad he didn't bring up the PowerPoint presentation. Ah, man. Next time, if I ever get to debate Manar, I'm gonna make my PowerPoint presentation. I'm just gonna make it like one word. Every single one of the slides is gonna be one word, and there's gonna be like the definition of the word below it. And then it's gonna be the one word definition of the word below it, and then and explain me like I'm 5 definition of the word below it. It's like I'm gonna start and be like, this is church. This is this. That's gonna be my opening statement, just definitions.
atheist? Does anybody know? Why is he arguing out of scientific consensus? Why is he making all his argument based on statistics and studies? I thought my opponent is a religious warrior.
What? What? Why is he using logic and reason? Manar doesn't have that. I don't know what. Yeah, their parents are related. I mean, they're brother and sister. That's why he's so dumb.
He came forward before the debate. I mean, we were all there. We were all excited to see him. With not only for the flag, we were also there for nice curly hair. He said this is going to be like the Crusades. He said hey, this is Christianity versus Islam, the degenerate. Yeah, remember the degenerate religion. So I thought you're going to come with biblical arguments, not a singular Christian.
Doesn't have to be. These people are so dumb. It's like, no, we don't debate it. They don't get it. And I'm so annoyed. When I debated him, I debated him philosophically. I didn't debate him on Christianity directly. One, I won't. I wouldn't do it without supervision by the church. I'm a church father. Because that's what you're supposed to be doing. It's we have these debates and we have these kind of ideas, and we don't need to go to the Bible. We don't even need to go to the Bible to defend them. Yeah, we're that good. Imagine we're that good. We can go into any kind of worldview and make it work. Okay, I literally got an agnostic to admit that his whole worldview a moment ago. This is not long ago, by the way. I got an atheist to admit a moment ago that all of his worldview is dependent upon his imagination. He imagined things, and since he imagined it, it must be true. Oh, it's common sense dictates certain facts. It does, yes.
Based appeal, not a singular biblical argument. Does this guy think he's Andrew Wilson? I don't know. Somebody remind me. What is this?
Does this guy think he's Andrew Wilson? Maybe this sub says with Andrew. Leave the fucker alone. He's not here, okay? He will destroy you, but you don't deserve it. Man, you're salty because he won't be able to contend with scientific argument. No, he's salty because he's stupid. That's why.
He's going to argue from the societal accepted high IQ and low IQ. And that's literally what he did. And I cannot believe it. That's why my second prediction is going to work. He's going to overtalk me for the rest of the debate. His only argument is that there are genetic deficiencies associated and there are risks because one of the parents could carry the gene that crossovers this.
Because maybe something happened because it's so dumb.
Disease, the sickle cell anemia, and usually because first cousins, they're close to each other's in the DNA. So whenever one of the parents is holding that, it's almost guaranteed it will be a risk at the baby. Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much. Where's the Christian argument? Where is the biblical argument from Leviticus? Let's go to read Leviticus. How Leviticus outlines.
Well, before we do that, before we read the Bible, Please tell me, how do you know you have the correct interpretation? Man, that debate that I have with him broke him. Still angry about it. You know the gene that does these, and there's gene that does that stuff. Yeah, exactly. It's like, well, you know, there's like this thing and this does, and this only had a double. Besides, his voice so high. His quality hearing centers, true.
Incestuous law and who you're allowed to marry and who you're not allowed to marry. And why does it never mention the cousin? It mentions your aunt, but it never mentions the cousin. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your father or your mother. She is your mother. You shall not uncover her nakedness. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your father's wife, for it is your father's nakedness. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your sister, the daughter of your father, or the daughter of your mother, whether born at home or elsewhere. Leviticus 10, you are not to uncover the nakedness of your son's daughter or your daughter's daughter, for theirs is your own nakedness. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your daughter of your father's wife, of the daughter of your father's wife conceived by your father, since she is your sister. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your father's sister, for she is your father's direct relative. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your mother's sister, for she is your mother's direct relative. You are not to uncover the nakedness of your father's brother by approaching his wife. So you're not allowed your...
Wow. He barely, like, he reads the stuff. I don't even know if he's able really to get the whole interpretation of it correctly. There's a lot of people that say that you had to marry your brother's wife. So, just letting you know. There might be interpretation needed there. And it's in fact what happens when a lot of the things that he says, especially when Jesus Christ comes back and he gives the correct interpretation, he changes a lot of the interpretation and the ideas of the interpretation of it. So it cannot be just read directly and think that you can just have an interpretation of it. One brother Marius couldn't use a spell check? I don't know.
Your dad's, your uncle's wife, you're not allowed. But somehow all of this doesn't ever mention cousin. And that's how you make a Christian biblical appeal. I just made a Christian biblical appeal, appealing to how...
No, he can't do that. You know why he can't do that? Okay, very simple. He's not a Christian. And that's not how we do appeals. That's not the way. I'm going to tell you, if we have an actual question about morality, when we go to a priest and we ask him like, hey, I'm thinking about this, I don't know if it's good or bad, he's very likely not going to go to Genesis part 4. You know, it's like Leviticus, this says this exact thing, and this is how. That's not the way. There's a lot of things that are not in Leviticus exactly. Okay? This is why we use a lot of that. This is what interpretation is important. Because it allows us to have like actual moral questions in it. Like, is doing this moral? Right? Like this kind of loan that I'm gonna make, is that good? Is that bad? Can I do it? Can I not do it? Like, am I taking advantage of them? Like, I don't understand. That is the way that you make it. And there are ways for the church to be able to, to be part of it. I don't spend 200 on a silence and know what's on it. Yeah.
Christian laws and ethics allows cousin marriage because it also omits it from these laws of Leviticus, which are extremely clear.
That is not how we see it. Okay, the one that have the capacity to say what is accepted or not is the church. It's not even necessarily the Bible. There are 3 branches when it comes to what we can say sort of authoritative within the church. The scripture has authority in a sense, okay, because it is conforming to the worldview. Okay, but we also have tradition. We also have the tradition of the church that is authoritative. The way that we do all of the way that all of the not we, the way that the adoration is done, is authoritative. And then we have the actual apostolic succession. So there are ways in which we can say, hey, this is the way that we make this kind of ideas. Leviticus advising for closer relations, yeah.
Clear. And it continues. I'm going to stop here because it's redundant. It just continues. And it names out exactly who you're not allowed, but it never mentions your uncle's daughter or your aunt's son. Why? Because those are actually allowed and attributed to all the prophets of the Bible, Islam, and their relatives. That's how all of humanity has been together. So his only argument is a genetic mutation argument. It's an appeal to modernity. It's an appeal to scientific statistic arguments. These are brand new arguments that just came up 20 years ago. That's all he has. If he looks back to the Christian Bible, he would be ridiculing his own prophets. According to his arguments, the Isaac was actually immoral. According to his argument, the prophets were guaranteeing the destruction of the human race. That's according to his argument. The biblical prophets are disagreeing with the commandments of God of keeping us healthy and well and representing to us the best of the religion. And they were just displaying, I guess, incestuous, disgusting acts, according to Martae, if we were to believe them. Thank you so much. What a failed argument, genetic argument.
All right. Thank you.
What a failed argument, a genetic argument. Well, there's a means to every end with examples all the time. It is kind of one of the things that I say that is very weird is that he will go on and make this kind of this kind of argumentation, but I don't know. I am. It's too much
for that rebuttal. And with that, we're going to hand the mic over to Martae for your uninterrupted 5-minute rebuttal. So whenever you're ready, Martae, I will start the timer. Up with your voice.
Yeah. So my opponent here, my detractor, actually doesn't make an argument for anything that I've ever said. He's actually making side tangent arguments for things actually talking about scripture. And actually he debunks his own claim and his own statement by saying that the Bible omits all this information. That means that there's allowance somehow because it omits this. To me, that doesn't make any sense because the Bible doesn't state anything like you shouldn't rob your own wife and beat her while you're robbing her. But does that mean allowance? No, it doesn't, which is a stupid argument. Actually, that's literally what the guy said. And then not to mention that he's telling me, he's not making
the argument all night was keep family together. First of all, good to see you, Martae. Good to see you, Martae. And attack Christianity. That's it. His argument against Christianity is so weird. It's like, it's the Bible. And that's not what we think. That's not what we believe. He's like, you have to do it from the Bible. So it's kind of interesting to see somebody so unhinged and so unknowledgeable try to debate that part. You did very well, Martae, so far. So, by the way, good video. It was funny. This is your black internet, Martae. You had a little bit of a black internet there for a little while.
A religious argument. Well, your argument, your worldview is so fucking stupid and dumb that all I have to do is just come at it with just research, data, and statistics and reality because you don't live.
I feel like maybe I should read the Bible. It can't be worse than Robert Jordan. It can't be worse than the Quran.
In this. So, by the way, I also made more than one argument, not just the science and data and everything else. I talked about social acceptance. Remember, there's a prompt here, social accepted, not just legality. Not only did this, but my opponent didn't even make an argument for anything I said. And he didn't even make an argument, period. All he talked about was just feels in his whole response. That's all I heard. So let me go ahead and help you out here because you apparently did make an argument towards anything I said. So when I talked about everything in my opening statement, I talked about the compounding interest. Not once have you addressed this. Not once did you address the social acceptance and the appeal of this, of us creating inbred people on the dating market that other people probably don't want to date. Recessive genes being eliminated. You never addressed that. So you talked about everything but what I actually brought to the table, which is crazy. But then you're telling me that I had a failed argument when not bringing any argument to the table. You know what? I expected this, so I'm unbothered by that. That's why whenever he makes assertions saying I'm going to talk over him and all this, he talks like he's clairvoyant when really Muhammad's not even a prophet. Let's just get that straight.
Based fucking thank you, Martae. Thank you for fucking telling him that he's not a fucking prophet. Based.
The guy was a rapist of a minor. Let's get that straight too, because his penis must have been a micro peen with a battery-sized shell, because that's all could probably fit in Aisha. Otherwise, he's causing damage. I can go down this long train of arguments, but you see what I did? I just pulled a Manar, said everything but what the prompt was about. But I'm not going to do that. Oh shit, I did that already. Slip of the wrist. But back to this argument. He hasn't
slip of the wrist.
Reconciled any of the points that I brought up. Not once do I have to bring up a religious argument about scripture says this, scripture doesn't say this. The most he can do is like, it's not even mentioned in scripture. That's all you got, bro. Meanwhile, you can't reconcile the multiplier argument. You can't reconcile the social acceptance. Try to get people to buy on recessive genes. Try to sell that even at 2%, 3%. And then
he got the really pissed every time you say something about the, you know, their prophet quotation marks. They get so pissed off. Abe, are you still here, Abe, by the way? If you're still here, please type on chat.
Do a multiplier because you're keeping it in the family. To me, all of this is debunked. And the guy that you're getting your research from, Alan H. Biddles, all of his shit's debunked. I literally looked through all this. And when you say that, oh, I'm so bad at argumentation that I did research before the debate. Literally, folks, this is what this guy said. He's so bad at argument that he did research on him before the debate. That's really what this guy's saying. Donkey pull cart IQ in 4K on Speakeasy's glorious channel, by the way. So I have yet to hear an argument from my opponent other than feels before reals, because that's all he's gotten. Can you actually contend with something I actually said? Because you haven't the first time. I'm giving you a second chance to go ahead and reconcile some of these points, which you haven't done. All you're saying is trying to be a bad salesman and saying it's only 3% damage, which leads to 8% damage.
Yeah, that's my whole argument.
Damage.
That...
Hold on. My time.
Yeah, he cannot. He's not supposed to be able to reply when he is in interrupted rebuttals. So I have to say something real quick, okay? So the people get to see it. They have to do it in a different way. So give me just 1 second. Oh, wait, what? Oh, that makes sense. That makes sense. Give me just 1 second, okay? So I just want to say to all of you, I love you. Clip that, bitch.
Time, Manar. You just said it. I would overtalk you, but guess what's happening? He just contradicted himself, which may be happening in the debate. See how I don't have to be clairvoyant? I actually said that versus his assumptions, what he's going to do. Say I'm talking over him while he did that to me. So I'll call shit out in real time because I think I'm that good so far. I'm not the best debater in the world. You conflated me with Andrew Wilson and all these other people. No, that guy's like Michael Jordan. How dare you?
No. We can't retire the donkey. The bro would be annoying. Party on, dudes.
Compare me with Michael Jordan. I'm like Rodman in this bitch. I'll fucking elbow you in the face verbally, and then we can talk about your whole argument that's going to get bodied in this debate and your whole worldview and your ideology. It doesn't make sense. All those people just want to bang cousins and everything else. It's been proven that the IQ score goes down in these countries. They don't have any producing society that's going to produce aerospace engineering or anything else like that. You guys had like one rocket that got through. All of this is just due to a genetic base of like, you don't have any new genes coming in to clean out these recessive genes. That's the problem you have. So guess what happens to knowledge when you start having a closed group of genetic issues? Nothing new gets in, nothing new gets refreshed. Well, guess what happens? Your trash bin gets full and you don't dump the garbage. Guess what your religion is? Right. Waste management. Anyways, let's continue. I can see my time.
Wow. All right.
Let's continue. I can see my time. 000. Oh, thank you for the time back, Martae. No, good job, Martae. Good job.
Thank you for that rebuttal, Martae. Great rebuttals from both sides. Before we move into the open
Speakeasy is trying to be nice.
Hour of back and forth, let me talk to the audience real quick. If you're watching right now, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and subscribe to tonight's debaters. Their links are in the description. We host all kinds of debates here on Swords of Reason, politics, culture, religion, ethics, internet topics, anything where reasoning and passion can collide. So if you're enjoying this format, make sure you're locked in because we have a lot more coming. Also, a reminder for the live chat after.
Just so you know, Farrier, like Abe is probably one of the persons I am like really close with on the internet. So it was just good fun.
The closing statements, we'll be doing a 30-minute Q&A. So the Q&A form there is like the live chat is in there. But Super Chats, PayPals, Cash Apps, these will get priority. And if those fill up the whole 30 minutes, we may not get to the ones in the Q&A. So if there's something you really want answered, send it through one of the priority options. And finally, thank you to both the debaters for being here tonight and bringing your perspectives to the arena. Whenever one of you is ready to start the open floor exchange, just jump in and I'll start the timer up with your voice.
I have a question, Manar. Can you answer a question directly and not dance around it this time, please?
Yeah, that's fine.
I'm just asking for good faith. I'm not going to overtalk you like you said I was going to do and all this other shit. So in a world where Muhammad didn't marry his cousin or family, because we all know
Salty Cracker has him. Not that salty. Yeah, we're like brothers.
That's what happened, or even bang a minor as a rapist. Would you promote Islam? Would Islam promote incest as a norm if it never happened?
Would I promote Islam if...
No, let me reword that. Sorry about that. I fumbled a little bit, right? My only L I'm probably going to take in this debate. So in a world where Muhammad didn't marry his cousin or family, would Islam promote incest as a norm still?
Yes, because there's nothing immoral about marrying your cousin.
So even in a world where Muhammad never married his cousins, you guys would still promote incest?
Yes, because we would follow the teachings of Abraham. We would follow the teachings of the prophets before, and their teachings advocated for and we see them marrying their cousins. We see Isaac marrying his cousin, and we see Prophet Abraham commiserating the marriage of his own child with his cousin. And therefore, I believe there's nothing immoral in the tradition. And this is a tradition of the Arabs. And yeah, this is a tradition all of humanity. I really want to know one question.
Of all of him. There's a tradition of all of humanity. It's so weird.
Your whole argument is sufficed about the genetical reproduction.
It is crazy. These guys are wild. It's like, yeah.
Production risks. That's all your argument is, right? Am I wrong?
No.
Yeah. Let me finish why. Let me explain why.
Okay. This is something he does a lot, and I understand why he does. I think he does it because he's stupid and cannot actually formulate a question. But it's very annoying that he will ask a question and he tries to monologue after asking the question. And this is why he has like so much problem. He's like, he wants to overtalk me. You're not trying to overtalk him here. He asked a question. In fact, let's go back just so you see it.
Argument is sufficed about the genetical reproduction risks. That's all your argument is, right? Am I
That is the question. There it is.
wrong?
No.
Yeah. Let me finish why.
You should know. You see that? He asks a question. He wants to keep on going. I don't need you to. I told him in that debate I have with him. I don't need you to explain your fucking question. I understand it. I understand your question. Let me answer it.
Let me explain why. Because the interest argument is based on that genetical risk, right? Because you're saying because of that risk, it will increase. The risk will increase every child. So that's
well, to be fair, it has genetics onto it, but compounding interesting is math. Donkey pull cart. Hard thing to do.
Genetical mutation based on reproduction. And then all the other arguments about the genetic mutations and the sickle cell and the diseases that could, besides the social appeal, all your other arguments have to and are linked to that area. They're not linked to anything else.
No, they can branch out, but you're making an absolute claim. So how do you? So okay, let's reconcile.
Your arguments are genetic reproductions are risky.
He's trying to explain, and now he's the. You see who's over talking here? Should we do a counter? Let's do an overcount. Let's do an overtalk counter. Oh my, yes, this is gonna be great. Know why? Because every time they do this kind of bullshit, right? They're like, "I'm gonna tell you." So we got two with this one. Let's keep on going with the counter. He said that his prediction is that Martae was going to be the one interrupting. Oh, well, let's see if that's true.
Before these first cousins. That's what you're saying. That's your whole argument.
So if you want me to answer your question, I'll answer your question real quick. So if you have two bad copies, how do you weed out recessive genes?
Yeah, but you're assuming both.
Can you answer a question real quick? Can you? How do you weed out recessive genes from a lineage? How do you do that?
How do you weed out recessive genes?
Recessive bad genes from a lineage. How do you do that?
I don't know. You try to breed it out. You don't breed into it.
Like right. That means moving away from incest, right?
So how is cousin marriage incest again? Sorry.
Wait, hold on. How do you no? Let's reconcile with what you just said. You said you try to breed this out. What does that mean? What does that mean to you?
If you are saying you want to get rid of a certain trait, some blue eyes, or you want brown eyes.
No, I didn't say. I said a defect, a recessive gene, like something that's a defect. How do you weed this out of your gene pool?
Can you give me an example? Like you have a tail, you have a small bone in the back of your.
Let's say that.
What?
Oh my god, why are people so fucking stupid, dude? You can add more, you can subtract Gordon Ramsay. Maybe, probably. Does he think winning by a green? Holy shit and ball, yeah.
My family is starting to grow flippers, right? But how do I weed that out of my family?
I mean, you genetically screen your next partners and see the risks they.
My apologies. How do you do it exactly? Well, you to breed them. You know when it was in the past and they were like doing these to the cousins, and you know, if you go to Iran, for example, the technology over there is a little bit behind. It must be that incredible 78 IQ they have collectively, and they're not able to get the genetical screening, as he was saying. How are they gonna do it exactly? I wonder.
Would have associated with the reproduction of their offspring with you.
Spoiler, he avoids answering questions the whole entire debate. He is, and he will, I agree.
Say we don't have genetic screening. How would we do this in a more obvious way to do this that's historically accurate?
Without genetic
because not everybody has access to expensive screening sometimes or any of this stuff. Something, because that goes with my social acceptance argument. Like, I'm going to go to CVS and I'm going to go get a test, but they're telling me I need health insurance. A lot of Americans can't afford any of this stuff. They can't afford these premiums. A lot of people don't have jobs, the economy, and all this other stuff. We hear excuses, especially liberals. Besides the modernity or medical risk or anything like that, like as far as testing, how do you weed this out of your family?
You can. I mean, you'd have to. I mean, there's really no way. I mean, if it's inside of you, you need to.
There's no way. There's no way to weed this out of your.
If it's inside of you, you're. Martae, is this guy for really? No. This is painful. Spoiler alert, Kim avoids answering questions the whole entire debate. I can agree with that.
Gene pool.
There's really no real way. I mean, if you find some woman and you find out that there's a risk for your offspring's doubled with that woman, for example, it's still your choice to have kids with her, and there's still a possibility that the kids are going to be completely normal.
Manar.
All it's saying is that.
Yeah, we'll just fuck it. You know that there's going to be consequences for them to be. Fuck it. Who cares? Just fuck it.
The risk is increased. It's not saying that there's a guarantee at all.
Manar, let me go ahead and dumb this down a little bit, make it more simple. How would you obviously know that the risks are going to be double? Would you, like, let's say if I went ahead, a person banged his sister, do you think that the risks are going to be increased or decreased from sleeping with just a sister?
Can I ask you a question? Is that scientifically proven or is that biblical? What's your argument? Where's your argument stemming from? Is it from? Yeah, but I want to know: is it stemming from Christian ethics or is this a modern appeal?
It doesn't matter. Answer the question.
No, I want to know.
It's not answering the fucking question. Why won't you answer the question? It's so easy. Oh, it's so easy. You know why he's not answering the question? Maybe because he's fucking too stupid to understand the question. Let's be honest. Okay? Let's try to give him a little bit of grace. Come on, guys.
Where's that? Where are you ethically binding that question? Where's it coming
Ethics
from?
Are out of the picture. I just want to know science.
Well, I want to know. I want to know what's the threshold?
We'll have to add a second counter, and this is the second counter is gonna be for my Black internet.
Oh, you're Martae, you're roboting. Pause the timer for a second there. You back?
Martae, you have to do something about this fucking black internet, dude.
Oh.
Okay, yeah, I'm back.
Okay. Well, I need to know where are you grounding your ethics from? Is this an appeal to modern statistics and science, or is this an appeal to Christian law? Because according to Christian.
By the way, when you make ethical claims, you can actually look at things that have bad consequences when it comes to material endeavors. So, not this is why we have certain liberty per se with ethical claims. Is it, for example, is it immoral for people to mine in order to get gold? I don't think it is. I don't think it's illegal. I don't think it's immoral. I don't think it should be illegal. But let's say that there is a mine that is very dangerous. Okay. If you go there, you have a high possibility of of dying. Would that be immoral for you to go down into that mine to get gold? And the answer is probably, it's very likely. Well, let's say that you will die if you go down there to get gold, right? If you're like, no, I'm gonna go get gold anyway, that would be immoral, because that at that point you're acting against yourself. That's the whole point. There's a little bit of flexibility when it comes to morality. Is it always wrong to mine gold? No. Would that be wrong if you go into this cave that you know you're gonna die to mine gold? Yes. Right?
Christian law, there is nothing stopping you from marrying your cousin.
So I'm recovering from being tougher after this debate. I have incest fatigue and self-inflicted black fatigue. Oh man. You need to, you know what? You did great. You did great, Martae. So don't worry about it. You will recover from some Danistania.
Manar, can you steal man what I just asked you?
I don't know, because you keep asking. You're trying to argue out of a modern majority risk factor based on these new testing and diagnoses.
You want me to ask the question again so you can understand it? Because apparently you don't understand what I just asked you.
I mean, that's fine. All I asked was, what is your grounding of that?
Hey, Paige, good to see you.
Question ethically. Are you grounding it in modern ethics, or are you grounding it in Christian ethics? Because it will change my answer. Can you answer me?
I'm not using Christian ethics or anything else. I just want a straight up answer with just let's say that nothing else exists.
So what if you're arguing against Christian ethics? Have you ever thought about you arguing against
Christian? Let's go with the Christian ethics. Christian ethics is not dependent upon the person that reads the Bible. It depends upon the church, as given and stated by Jesus Christ, that he gave us a church. Thus, the people that are willing to give the authority in the interpretation of it would tell us, and it's not only would tell us, okay, but they will also have specific arguments when it comes to this. By the way, there are very interesting argumentation, to give them this kind of self-reference authority. If they see that this is a wrong thing to do, they have the authority to say this is wrong and to prohibit it from the congregation. This is why we have three different, we have authority. We have, this is why we have scripture. This is why we have tradition. This is why we have the bishops with apostolic successions, okay? This is why. People that Mary and Joseph argument that they were betrothed at a young age and didn't do dirty at that age. I think Mary was young, yes, but there's also a difference in between now and before as well. We have a lot of presentism in the way that we can make arguments, and I agree with present statements. I don't think it's good for kids to get married at 10, 12, 13. Neither woman nor man. I think the idea of going all the way to 18, it's perfectly understandable. They are intersections in the way that we are doing this, and the whole point was to give them the amount of tools in order for them to be able to have a life together when they go into the world, right? Now, we have destroyed all of that in a sense, but yeah, it's we cannot use the present ideas in a way to attack old ideas. Now, that doesn't mean that we cannot use present ideas to attack old ideas that were obviously wrong. So when we're talking about people that have gone or are going through puberty, there's a little bit of more of a gray scale that I can see, especially when it comes to the past. When it comes to prepubescent kids, there is absolutely nothing there. I mean, none. If you're marrying somebody at 6-year-old, you're fucked. The only way I can see like a 6-year-old marriage is like, or a 6-year-old betrothal, for example. It was like in ancient times when they were like, these two people are gonna get married when they're older. And by older doesn't mean when they're 9. Okay? That's absolutely disgusting. That has nothing to do with my argument.
Christian
But
ethics.
I can understand a little bit more.
That's not my argument, Manar. Can I ask you? I'll ask you the question again because, God, I got to hold hands during.
I just want to know: would you be embarrassed if you're arguing against Christian ethics? Would you?
So,
because you're making a moral appeal.
Manar, remember when I asked you if you can answer questions instead of like?
Yeah, but this is an open. This is an open.
Yeah, that sounds cool. Pirates GA people, yeah, trivia night. That's interesting.
Dialogue according to Speakeasy. This is not just you.
If I can bridge the gap here, I think what Manar is just asking a clarifying question so he can answer your question. So if you just,
but there's no clarification. We're not talking about. This is not an ethical debate. They're talking about. Well, it is kind of an ethical debate, but this specific question has nothing to do with ethics. It's like he's asking about how you get rid of recessive genes, and the other person is like spurging out about it.
Ask you a question again, and then
no Christian ethics. Nothing.
No Christian ethics at all. This is all.
Is he capable of speaking in normal volume? No.
An appeal to modernity. Come at me. Come at me with your statistics now. Come at me with your statistics. Come on.
Okay, great. This isn't statistics or anything like that. I'm just asking a simple question because you're dancing around this.
What else are you appealing to when you say you're appealing to modernity?
I'm not appealing to anything else but just this direct question that I just need a direct answer from. So in everyday life, like medical cost prescriptions are high, everything like that. I'm just speaking for the average layman out there. I'm not making an argument to like biblical ethics or anything like that. I'm just asking a simplified question. In order to weed this out of my family, what would I do?
I can do that.
Like there's a bad gene. We have flippers because we're all inbreeding. What
I mean, to weed this bad gene out? How if I answer you, how does that prove that it should be illegal to marry your cousin?
I didn't say it should be
illegal. Like for example, let me give you an example. Hey, wake up, everybody! Wake up, the viewers! Hey, so let's say I want to breathe out being short.
Oh, there we go. We have another interruption. That's number 3.
Short, okay. Let's say I want to breathe out. Let's say I want to breathe out. If I was to agree with you, that means marrying short people is immoral and should be illegal. Like that's you see what I mean?
Like immoral or illegal. Never said that.
But you're saying if there's a trait that is undesirable and you want to get rid of it, you just marry tall. That's not guaranteed.
Is this some kind of news to this fucker? Is this like news? Is here lost a genetic defect? It's like, well, I want my kids to be tall. I'm gonna marry the shortest guy ever. I'm gonna fuck him till I get my old tall kid. What?
Still have short kids. You can
never
also marry
desirable. Never.
What are you saying then? You said that a trait you don't want anymore.
No, I'm gonna ask you this undesirable trait. Repeat what I just asked you. What did I say? What was my question? Because you're not listening either. Do you remember what I actually said?
All right, man. You were asking me, how can I get rid of a trait inside my family?
No, I didn't say
certain
trait.
Characteristic.
I said a defect. I primarily indicated a defect. How do I get rid of it? Flippers are a defect. That's not just a trait that nobody wants. It is a defective measure. Like let's say if I have stubby arms like this, how do I weed this out of my family?
It's the same thing. That's the same thing I'm arguing, and I'm saying that you.
Oh man, I hate these people. What?
If we were to agree with you, then we would have to make every genetic risk marriage that has a risk of genetic reproduction being an.
No, we just do the ones that are way more likely to happen, like cousins. Cousin fucking illegal because it's very risky. Should it be illegal? Yes. Why? Because it's very fucking risky. That's why. And it's a general statement. Everybody understands it. You don't have to go through 20 fucking billion screenings and shit to make it like maybe work. It's it's that simple. How is this news to these fucking? Oh man, it's fucking retard.
At any point, we would have to make that illegal if we were to agree with you, because you're saying that because the risk exists. No, what you're saying is because the risk exists with marrying, and you have that trait, that defect. That means, how do you breed it out? You stop marrying, right? That's what you're saying.
No, what else are you saying? I didn't make an absolute claim.
What else are you saying then? What else is the solution? You tell me.
I'm asking you. You want me to hand you the answers?
I have no solution. What is your solution?
I have no solution. Okay, you just considered the debate. Welcome to I Am Ignorant. I don't know if you're still here, Martae, but whenever I hear this kind of bullshit, one of the things that you can do, especially against atheists, it works a lot better against atheists because they lose their shit when you call them, when you say I grant you your ignorance, they lose it because they believe that they're so fucking smart. So one of the things that they can do is like, I don't know, I have no answers, I grant you your ignorance. Because at the end of the day, you don't have to make this debate for him, right? I don't have to make the debate for you. I don't have to give you the answers. I don't have to do any of that shit. So, Cenk Uygur said he would legalize the diddling of the beasties. Yeah, they are sick. Absolutely, they are sick. But yeah, you can do that. You can just go ahead and be like, sure, I grant you your ignorance. 100%. I don't have to debate for you. Just grant it.
Solution, go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell you what my solution is.
Stop reading.
This is like solutions for dummies of Islam. So anyways, back to this. So this is how you breed it out of your family. If you have a defect, you go outside of your family to people who don't have recessive genes or anybody outside of this. How we've known this throughout civilization and how we know this, and I'm not talking about height. What you're talking about is just generic, superficial preferences. If you have like I would say like a stub that grows in your family, you can't hunt. You didn't survive a harsh winter. You didn't survive the season where you're supposed to forage and do everything because you only have one arm. Your village got massacred because if you have a defect.
This goes a question: avoid the machine, grant ignorance sounds good as an idea. I'll do a test run. You can see it happen. Like I was with an atheist not long ago, and I literally said that he went on, and he pretty much said that he was an agnostic, and I said, okay, fine, but if we debate, I'm gonna grant you your ignorance. Like I don't give a fuck about how ignorant you are, right? And they're like, no, it's not the same. It's obviously the same. It's obviously the same. So you can just grant them how ignorant they are. You can just do that. It's very. There's no problem with you granting them to be ignorant.
Defect, guess what? Your survivability goes down. So here's the thing, though. In order to weed this out of your genetic population, you have to.
So if we would have done that, I would be like, okay, fine. Thank you for granting the debate, and you don't know shit. I grant you your ignorance.
Imbue new genes, new fresh genes into the gene pool to weed out the bad genes. And how do we do that? Not banging your cousins, sisters, brothers, or anything like that.
Okay, can I make an argument? Can I make an argument? What if you stop doing that and you still have these genes? Now you're gonna keep trying to breed these genes out?
What the fuck does he mean by that? It's like, what if the first time you fuck somebody else outside of your family, you still have a bunch of reciding genes that are bad, and you keep marrying outside of your family so you can get rid of huge, horrible. You know what? No, if you're Sandy, you have to accept that you're far gone. You're far too gone. Go back, make some sand castles, play with your Stubby hand. Like, you're gonna have to accept that it's too far gone. It is what it is.
Because what you're saying is mitigating some of the risk, but it's not eliminating it. The gene is still there.
Eliminate all of it, but guess what you're gonna do? You're gonna mitigate most. You're gonna
but I'll tell you how you really ban it. You want to really get rid of it. You kill that gene. You kill that human structure completely. How about that?
Oh, so
should we do that? Should we do that? According to you,
you guys just want to have a G side over a whole population.
No. I'm asking you. Is that a good thing? Should we do that? Because there's a risk associated with these people. I mean, inbreeding. You know.
So here's the thing, though. We're not going to delete a whole population because of this.
I would say 3 out of 4. And I would say the ones that are not is because they are some kind of atheist adjacent guys.
I presented a solution that.
Can I ask you why? Can I ask you why? If your whole argument is that this will lead to interest and this interest will destroy the human world, why is it
this will lead to Ooh, what? Martae, props to you. You broke him. This would lead. You. This will lead to to compounding interest that will destroy the world. You.
Not a good thing and a moral thing
juice?
as an appeal to modernity. Appeal to it. Appeal with
really
it. Why is it actually a bad thing to just end all these Down syndrome marriages, these old women marriages, any marriage that associated with any risk? Why is it not actually just? Why is it immoral to just end them? There's an associated risk attached with all of them.
I never made a morality argument, but I will say culturally, because I'm going to go back to the prompt that says socially and legally accepted. To me, I'm just going to appeal to the prompt. How about that? I'll appeal to the social paradigm, and then I'll appeal to the legal paradigm as well too. Socially, if you create incestuous people out here, meaning inbred people, you now have a dating market of people who now have recessive genes. Do you think socially we want to be banging people who are inbred? Sounds appealing, right? How appealing does that sound? Because socially they have to accept this and normalize this. How do you sell that, bro?
So are you saying it's immoral to marry a woman with a lump? I'm not understanding.
Oh Lord, he's he's not understanding. It's like, oh, it's not immoral, but it probably will not be like the. I wouldn't even say that it's like the best solution, because I don't think it's a solution in and of itself. I don't think it's desirable. And the whole point of it is like, should be legal and socially accepted. I don't think it will be desirable. I don't think it will be like the social thing accepted, right? It's not like we're gonna have a bunch of commercials with with Handy Sweeney on there being like, this is the perfect woman. The whole point. Like, you want to be able to show like healthy individuals that are in good shape, that are doing the things that we want to support. This is the reason why it never worked out when we tried to do it with fat people, because nobody likes them.
What's your argument? What is your argument?
I just asked you a question. This is going over your head. This is
okay.
crazy.
Okay, I'm asking you again. I'm asking you again because you refuse to appeal.
My
to
argument
ethics.
is that socially,
if I marry a lump, if I force the gene to come into my family, if I marry into a lump, is that immoral?
No, I'm not making a moral argument.
No, because it's not going to come into your family. Okay, the whole point is that there's going to be enough robust genetic material around your community. Okay, you're going to be in. This is why having a bunch of kids is important and fun and good for everybody, because that means that they can intermingle with the culture that is shared. This is a point that I will make as well. Share culture is important. That is important.
Okay, is that illegal? Is that illegal?
But that doesn't mean that doesn't mean that the only way to share a culture is by fucking your cousin. Come on, people. You don't want to be as stupid as he is, okay? Don't do that.
Should that be illegal? Should that be illegal that I marry a girl with Down syndrome and introduce this to my family and lineage?
Well, in order to get to the legality, you have to have social acceptance.
Your whole argument hinges upon the destruction and the risks.
When the camera's like, fuck, I don't want to do this anymore.
Associated with the genetical reproductions.
No, elimination of defects. That's what my argument is.
Trench Deacon was, first off, based as fuck. That is a Black Crusader from Warhammer 40k. And that's fucking based.
But
he came in like very strong.
So in order, let me talk real quick. Don't overtalk me, please, because I'm not doing that to you. So in order to get to legalities, you have to go through social paradigms. In order to do this, things have to be put through legislation. Things have to be voted in. And guess what that does? Through social acceptance. People actually have to buy what this politician saying. If we're going to legalize that, it has to be popular. It has to be high.
I'm not arguing. I'm not arguing in general. I'm saying you right now, if you were to be able to switch laws, do you believe that it should be illegal according to your own argument?
Yeah, it should be illegal. There's no problem with that.
Because it will introduce
Yes,
more
it should be
genetic
illegal
risks.
because
Should
socially.
it be illegal for me to introduce this lump into my family?
So can you
Oh my god, he's not getting. He really doesn't get the debate. He's like, oh wow, moral, genetic bad. That means that is bad. Like, no, that's not what it means. It's not.
you at least reckon? Can you at least deal with the presentation that I gave you right now? In order for things to become legal, they have to be socially accepted by somebody, by a majority. It has to be voted in. Somebody has to pass this through legislation or something. This legality.
Well, according to you, the whole argument failed because right now I can marry into and introduce to my lineage these traits.
10 seconds. 10 seconds real quick. I promise you I'll let you talk. So in order for this to pass through legality, somebody has to have people, a populace, buy onto this for everybody to say, I now accept this law. Otherwise you have a rebellion. How do you sell this to people as a product? How do you
say this is a
After the Bundy massacre, they have cracked down on hate speech. Are you talking about New Delhi, Canadian land?
According to your Christian ethics, hey, listen to me, hello, listen to me. Your whole argument hinges upon the socioeconomical destruction of the human species because of the inbreeding. That's your argument. The genetical disorders associated with this inbreeding are high with incestuous relationship, which is why you want to attack the incestuous relationships. That's what your whole argument is.
No.
And you're arguing cousin is
right now? Look, get the wax out of your ears, you fucking idiot. What I said was I'm talking about social acceptance.
I'm trying to steal your argument.
They have to buy onto this product. They have to buy onto this product because anything you sell to legislation to pass through law.
Why are you arguing from that? Why are you arguing from that? It's already legal to marry your cousin. You don't have to. You're arguing against. You have to be the one to provide that authority to the need to change the law.
I'm arguing against the legality through social acceptance. Yeah, that's the argument I'm making. Can you at least deal with that?
Well, Christians are going to disagree with you. They're going to say, well, no, you're telling us now all our prophets, biblical prophets, and all of Leviticus law, we're going to not associate now with, and we're just going to decline this because our laws and legalities change. That's all Christians would disagree with you.
Manar, see.
Oh, I know what you're talking about now, but this is something that happens as well whenever they do. Like the Sandys do any kind of actual violence, they lump it up with the right-wingers as well. Stupid.
You keep wanting to go back to religion. Let's go there since you want to take it there. Where in Leviticus does it say we have a mandate to sleep with cousins and have incest?
There's no mandate. It's not even the same. Well, Islam doesn't have a mandate either, though. Where in Islam is there a mandate to sleep with your cousin?
How is that analogous to what we're talking about?
Why are you strawmanning the argument? The argument is not that there's a mandate. The argument is it moral? Is it moral? Yeah, but you strawman. That's not my argument. My argument is it moral to marry your cousin? And Islam and Christianity allows it. Yes.
No, you literally just said that while saying it's not your argument. You brought that up.
How because are you straw man? You're not.
This isn't my argument. Then when I ask you a question, you say it's a straw man when it's literally what you just brought up.
No. You straw man the debate, the actual question.
Tell me how I straw man it. Tell me, Manar. Tell me how I straw man it. What was a straw man? Can you tell me? These crickets are awfully loud in here. Tell me what the straw man was. Are you pulling the cart yet? It's not the donkey.
You said where in Leviticus do we have a mandate to sleep with our cousins? I said that's a straw man. We're not mandating the sleeping of your cousin. We're saying it's moral.
Oh my god. It's moral. Wait, wouldn't that be a mandate? In fact, mandates are usually moral statements. Should you take care of your kids? Yes. You have a man, Is it a moral thing? Yes. If the moral thing is, and he said it himself, by the way, to marry your cousins, then that would be a mandate because you ought to do the right thing, the moral thing. So you're obligated. It's an obligation. It's like a moral obligation. It's the whole point of the moral. It's the whole point of the moral argument. That's the whole point of the moral argument. And yes, he did both those things. He's been doing that the whole time. Martae has been trying to figure it out. Hey, what is the good and how we get to the good thing, and this is the way that we get to X, Y, Z position. And Martae is been going solely on Martae's been My bad. I fucked that up. All of it. Martae's been given a position when it comes to it's kind of consequentialist idea. So he's saying, hey, this happens when this is going on. We know that the results are not good because there are genetic mutations and genetic problems within the family. So we know that these kind of actions lead to these kind of consequences, and this is why it's wrong. And Manar wants to go ahead and pigeonhole him into Christian ethics based on, I don't know, because he's not even Christian, so how would he know? And then he goes into and he keeps like compounding these kind of moral positions and overthrowing the moral argument to Martae. So Martae is like trying to talk about about a consequentialist position, and Manar is just attacking him on whatever he believes the ethics are. But they're talking completely different. It's like different. It's completely different from one from the other. I have to get permission to play what is essentially a movie trailer or the strike stand. This is fun. What strike? I still can't believe this was a debate. Oh, there are gonna be more of this, by the way. I don't think I heard Martae speak. Yeah, he's just a lunatic. I agree with you.
You know what saying it's
Reed, thank you for being here. Have a good night. Sweet dreams. Have a good one.
Yeah, because it's straw man. You're saying that I'm saying that Islam mandates having marrying your cousin. That's not true.
Hold on.
That's not in Islam or Christianity. That's a straw man. Am I arguing to mandate cousin marriage? I'm just saying it's moral.
Manar, can you tell me what a straw man is?
A straw man is misrepresenting my.
Come on, it's C-based sticker versus Manar. Have you? Has anybody known anything about Tweaker? I never had any problems with him. I know that he like retired and everything, but dude, I do want a Tweaker a Tweaker Manar debate. That will be wild.
My position is it's moral. You're saying it's mandated.
So is it misrepresenting your position when you brought up Leviticus and you said it omits all this is omitted in Leviticus? That's literally
in Leviticus. In Leviticus, it sits there and names 18 to.
I played the prologue video for the game The Division, and they pretty much deleted your channel. What happened?
29 verses.
How was that a straw
okay,
man?
let me finish. I'm answering you. My
Let me finish. Let me finish. The falsetto. Oh my god. Let me finish. I was spoken with Tweaker briefly. He apologized. Oh yeah, I remember.
In Leviticus, it brings up to 29 verses, all of them stating the different representations of incestuous families. It talks about the aunt, the brother of the father, the brother of the father's wife, the aunt's husband, the son-in-law of the daughter. It sits there naming name, and it never once says the aunt's daughter or the aunt's son or the cousin's or the uncle's daughter, which is by omission allowing you and making it moral. Because basically we could assume, because let me finish. According to Leviticus, 5 more seconds. According to Leviticus, because it was so clear and detailed, whatever is not outlined there is not forbidden. It's allowed. And cousin marriage was not outlined in Leviticus, that verse I was mentioning.
Does omission mean allowance?
But if you're making a verse, yes. If you're making a verse that's depicting the incestuous.
And this is the problem, right? We're going back into the whole interpretation of it because he's giving an interpretation, but we don't know. Like, we don't know. We know that his interpretation is not the correct one. That's the whole appeal. Yeah, channel is shut down for a week or until I get permission for playing the prologue. What? That makes no sense, Grumple. I've been, yeah. Well, now I know I'm not gonna play the prologue of the game The Division.
Yes, let me make the argument.
Wait, hold on.
Let me make the argument.
You made a claim. No. Let me deal with your claim. No, we're not gonna fucking do this here because you're on my fucking debate panel right now.
I'm saying yes because.
Yo, Marcus, good to see you, dude. I saw you during the debate, during the the Andrew debate today. By the way, that debate, the Andrew Wilson debate from today, man, that was painful. That was one of those debates that I was like, poof. I don't know. I don't know if I had the guts to be that stupid and take that debate. I don't know.
No. Let's stop.
I'm not allowed to say because
you made a claim. Let's deal with the claim right now.
I'm answering your question. Let me explain.
Manar. No, I'm calling you on your bullshit right now on this panel.
Yes, because the verse was claiming what is a forbidden relationship, and it has to describe that as a forbidden relationship. If it doesn't describe cousin marriage at all in the whole Bible, then how can I? By omission, it's saying that it's actually not forbidden. That's what.
So when audience, I want you to listen because I know you guys are going to do this poll. This guy.
Takia Young. You know what? I'll take a break to look at that. It's gonna be complicated to write that name. Okay.
I literally said right in front of you.
The car. Then get out. No. Then get out. Get out of the car. 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 Your shots fired. Shots fired. Stop.
Yeah.
That omission means
these people are faffing. Okay. You don't do this kind of shit. It's like there's a very simple command. This command is get out of the car. If the guy's in front of you, if you decide that you want to go ahead and push the pedal, that means that the guy is in the right to defend himself. You may not like it. You may think it's bad. Give a fuck about that. The point is, they have a right to defend themselves.
Allowance. He
when the verse is about what relations to forbid and the omission is in that couple, then you can assume that omission means that they're not.
Thank you, Ghoulie, for the info. I will go ahead and use that if I ever have the debate again, so that we can go in between and just be like, well, this is what we see.
Forbidden.
So you're making an assumption. You said you can assume.
Did I hear that right? Of course. According if it's not in Leviticus law, why would I say it's forbidden? You want me to forbid? You want me to forbid what's not in the Bible? You want me to forbid what's not in the Bible? You want me to forbid commandments that are not inside the Bible? You want me to just create new commandments? You literally
said that anything that's omitted is called allowance. So if I never tell my wife,
you see how he's coming at me again? That's crazy.
No, this is literally what you just said. And I'm going to give you a hypothetical. If I tell my future wife not to bang my best friend, like let's say I never tell her this. I never tell you can't bang my best friend, but she does this anyways. And she says, well, you never told me I couldn't. And she does do that. Is that allowance?
No, but if you argue that the Bible is a prescription, if you argue that the Bible is a social prescription for all of the...
No, but that's not the argument, right? The Bible is not the only social. It's not the only place. This is the idea, and then this is the whole point. It's not the only, not the only source of morality. This is why Sol Scriptura is lacking at the end of the day. Did he just ask the question 3 times in a row? Yes, he does that a lot. So he will ask you a question and then he will stop because you finished the question, and then you will start replying to him, and then he keeps on asking the same question again, and then he's like, "No, I'm clarifying. Let me finish. And it's just a tactic. It's like a way of him pretending that you're overtalking him, so that he can go out and be like, they overtalk me. It's just crying. That's what it is. They're fucking crying. They're just bitches.
World, and then you omit to put in the Bible it's forbidden to be with your cousin, and then all of the prophets have depicted that tradition has been there. Then you cannot say, I cannot say because it's not here, it's still forbidden.
That was pre-Mosaic law. So anyways, if my wife bangs my best friend, but I never tell her you can't do that, that means she can do that. That's literally what you just said.
Keep strawmanning me. That's fine.
No, that's what you said. You said if the Bible doesn't say that it's permitted, it's permitted.
It's not in the case of...
The fucking camera is like, no, manure. I don't want to see you anymore. Don't want to see your manure. Stop it.
A relationship, it's in the case of a prescription, biblical scriptural prescription. If you're going to argue your scriptural prescription, then I'm going to read your scriptures and I'm going to see what the prescription is. If it's not there, I'm not going to assume it and force it on the discussion. Well, I don't know.
Hold on.
Why are you bringing it? Is it in the Bible anywhere? Why are you bringing it up?
I just caught you in another contradiction.
He will keep on using. Yeah, you cannot head and debate him in these kind of topics if you don't have like a good epistemic foundation. This is why he got like lost his mind with me when we had our small debate, and this is why he couldn't understand even the question. It's like, well, how do you know you have the correct interpretation? That kind of question, like, it's gonna destroy him, right? Because if he goes to, and he did today, if he goes to authority. Well, I have I can say that I have the correct authority because it's the church. And then he's gonna be like, but my experts don't give a fuck about your experts. They're not the experts. Okay? If you're gonna go, and then it's like, well, but we see the Bible. It's like, well, yeah, but our authority compiled it. Our authority has not only the Bible, but also has has the tradition. Our authority not only has the tradition and the Bible, but also has the authority of the bishops. The church is a holy, is all of it. You cannot just divorce it and be like, oh, where is the page? Where is the page? Okay, that's not the way that we debate. That's not the way that we do this. That's not the way the idea. Like, we don't do this kind of word concept fallacies, and you have to go to a specific scripture where it says, and Jesus says that he's God 100% of the time. Like, we have ways to come not only to the conclusion but also to the reality that Jesus Christ is God.
You said, yes, you can't assume that this means that you can go ahead and permit this to happen.
And that includes like actually bowing your head and accepting the church, right?
And then you literally just told me right now, I'm not going to assume that it says allowance. You just contradicted yourself a second time. I caught you in 4K real time. That's crazy. Let's get back to the prompt, mind you, because you're doing bad on this. So, mind you, can you deal with the social paradigm of people? But
by the way, David, now that you're here, let me go ahead and show you something real quick. I'm gonna put myself in big. This Friday, this bad boy right here, Belial, is gonna be assembled on stream. Right? Just want to show that. Thought it was pretty cool.
Dying into taking this recessive gene on the dating market. Do you think the public is going to say this is cool? Do you think they're going to accept this?
Who? Do I think the public are going to disagree with Christian ethics? Is that what you're asking me?
Let's throw ethics out of this. I'm talking about just because we have atheists in society, Muslims, Jewish people, everybody else like this, just for the whole monopoly. Do you think societally we should have a dating app saying, hey, inbreeding plus, buy in on this, but only if you're in the family tree? Do you think that's going to make a hit?
I don't think anyone cares about these genetical mutations that you keep prescribing. If I marry a Mexican, it's like saying, like my mom who's crazy that I married a Mexican, that she's worried that my children are gonna be a little bit too dark. Like, who cares? Is
oh my God. Oh man.
that a reason for me to not marry? I mean, maybe,
well, nobody's
but that's not immoral. It's not illegal.
You're talking about culture. That's different. If I marry Hispanic culture, that's different from having genetic defects like.
It's the same argument. It's the same argument. This idea that
hold on. Manar, you're saying that culture is the same thing as a birth defect?
Yeah, to her, the risk of having this certain defect. Yeah, to her, it's a defect to have this color or to have this character.
Yeah, almost, David. Their brother and sister.
Or to have these
defect.
I'm sure.
Eyebrows or the type of hair. To her, it's a defect. Yeah.
So you think a culture is a defect?
Have you seen an Arab, a black Syrian? Have you ever seen a black Syrian? Let me ask you that. Have you ever seen a black Syrian?
Oh, I don't think Martae knows the whole story of the transatlantic of the Muslim slave trade. They were, and probably still are, because who else buys them. But there were a lot of blacks going to those parts of the world at one point the only reason why they never were able to have an actual population over there is because they were on and because they gelded them, you know. They took away their little balls and they worked them to death. So I don't think he understands this piece of shit, by the way. He understands. He's the only time. He also complained about the racism, and I find that funny as fuck.
Who cares?
I'm asking, have you ever seen a black Syrian?
I may have. I don't know. I can't tell you.
So maybe to her it's a defect when somebody's a little bit like too, you know what I mean? And they're called and they're supposed to be Syrian. See what I mean?
Yeah, that would either be racist or something else. That's different. That falls underneath a different paradigm.
She could argue the genetic mutation is risky to her. She could argue this is an increase of.
Hold on, is a culture a genetic defect?
She doesn't want.
It belongs with the white Karens. Oh, you deserve to be shown. Go on, Mister.
Can a culture be a genetic defect?
Anything can be a genetic defect. Literally, it's in.
What the fuck? He just said that a culture could be a genetic defect. I'm not dumb. I didn't dream that. He said that, right? He said that. Oh wow.
The definition, it's genetic, which is attributable to the genomes of the humanoid, and it's a defect. That means there's some mutation in the actual genome. Anything can be. The color of the skin is a mutation. The color of the eyes, the shape of the eyebrows.
Can culture and a genetic defect exist in two different paradigms?
What do you mean?
You're conflating the two. How are they the same? Because
it's not. You're looking at it as culture. They're looking at it as defects, physical defects. You're saying
what is going on? Oh wow. Okay. Everything can be a genetic defect. Not everything. But I will say this. All of the Sandys and the half moon religion that they have are genetic defects.
To you,
how is that a genetic? How is me being black a genetic defect?
Because to you, you're saying all the differences. They just speak a different language. To them, they're seeing the color of their skin is different, their eye shape is different, their forehead length is different. Everything is different to them, and maybe they don't want to them. Those are defects. I don't know.
Yeah, that would probably be like prejudice or racism. That's not a. That's
so
not.
What? So what? You're being prejudiced and racist when you say I'm not allowed to marry a lump because she has.
You. Is that no you? Oh no, no you. No you. Let me put it this way. No you.
I never said you should.
David, if you're still here, do you see my baby? You see my baby?
Allowed to marry somebody with a lump. That's not my argument. Never said that. Never once said that.
Wait a minute. So it's okay for me to introduce into my family genetical defects. It's just not okay for them to come from my cousins. Is that the argument now?
No, what I'm saying though is before you get to legalities, you have to make people socially accept this and buy them in on this. You've not once told me how you can market this.
It's socially accepted already.
Who cares?
You can marry your cousin anywhere.
No.
No, hold on. No, what I'm saying is, what would you do as a marketing strategy to get people buying onto banging their uncle's daughter?
We give every marriage $2,000 per child, tax deduction. We pay for the marriages and allow them to be very easy, very accommodating.
Shouldn't you not want this debate? Even in this is a complete equivocation. He's like, we give this to them. Yeah, we thought Manar. Shut up, David. Shut your fucking mouth. Yeah, we don't claim him. Send him to the Australians. tell Kieran, maybe he'll accept them.
Quick. And in the divorce, we give some protections to the men so they don't feel like they are taking too much of a toll. and that's it. We're gonna increase marriage.
So you're gonna throw money at this. So you're gonna throw money at this. People are gonna buy into dating inbred people for money.
Yes, we want more children, and it's really healthy actually socially for the.
We want more children. We're just gonna throw them money for having children. That's worked so far, right? It's worked so well.
For these cousin marriages to happen, because the familial relationships are so tight and they're so long and they're so deep that they go on for generations, and these are actually really great societal communities. You see these communities that are really tight, and these kind of traditional communities, they really bring up the spirit of the neighborhoods. To be honest with you, it's always clean. They're always doing a certain routine. It gets you away from these druggies and these loitering habits that other people.
I don't know how genes do that. Yeah, and you could probably talk about culturally, maybe, but genetically.
When you're marrying your cousin and you keep it in the community, and you keep a tight-knit community, and you keep growing that community, you can say that you have built that community completely and structured the whole society, and that's all been supported by these cousins.
Hello, Ken. Good to see you.
And marriages, these familial tight relationships.
Okay, so all right, you didn't offer a question. Well, I got a question. In Iraq, the age of consent is 9 for sex. In your religion, mind you, in Islam, should we have 9-year-old inbreds on the dating market produced for the dating market to swipe right on dating sites so we can cream pie them as fleshlights?
So why did you just obfuscate the whole debate? You just been
How's
arguing the whole time.
The debate. You're
asking me about 9-year-olds being cream pies. What the fuck are you talking about?
In Iraq, I'll answer this. I'll ask this again. In Iraq, the age of consent is 9 in your religion. These are your standards. Should we have 9-year-old inbred cousins on the dating market produced for the dating market to swipe right on so that way men can cream pie these fleshlights that you would call fleshlights?
Okay, if we look up Iraq, even if it was allowed that 9 years old was their marriage.
9 years old, yes.
We will see that it's an extreme minority. It's not the majority.
It doesn't matter if it's the majority or the minority. Do you think it should be legal and socially acceptable? That's the whole point of the debate. So that's where he's coming with the. That's why he's asking this question. Okay, it's like, hey, should we do this kind of thing? And then he's like, oh, let me see. Yeah, he's just Manir's been broken for a while, dude.
It's not something that's
it's not much of a minority. I can prove that.
What it is, it's a guideline that, hey, unless, and by the way, hey, I'm not saying that Iraq represents Islam in any way.
Is this guideline socially accepted?
Can I finish the argument? They're not representatives of Islam in any way, but if they are to make the guideline at 9, I would assume not every human being in that society is doing that. And now I'm not arguing that this is
Londonistan. Yeah. In fact, by the way, there was going to be a law passed into effect, I think today or yesterday, by Parliament in the Grand Caliphate of Londonistan, and Stammer vetoed the bill that would ban cousin marriage, because the cousin dealers will be very upset if they couldn't deal the cousin.
The case that it makes it okay, but
hold on.
I'm just saying it's probably an extreme outlier. It's not a major issue in the city. Maybe less than 100 marriages, I bet you would see a year in Iraq with 9-year-olds, and that's the actual statistics in Iran, for example. It's very similar. Iran allows 9-year-olds, and it's negligible. It's an outlier. It's not even a problem. I would argue abortion is a much bigger issue where.
Yeah, holy. Remember that time that he said he's not gonna let me talk? He's gonna talk all over me. He's not gonna let me talk. Well, apparently Manar is not a very good witch. He's not a very good witch at all. Even for being a witch, it's fucking stupid.
In America, 1 million children are aborted and murdered.
No, that's obfuscating. That's
not obfuscating. I'm just saying, if you want to talk about percentages.
Can we get back to the 9-year-old cousins? Can we get back to the 9-year-old cousins?
What does this have to do with our debate about the cousins?
The debate is about familial relationships. What are you talking about? And you're
Why are you bringing up 9-year-olds into this equation?
So here's the thing, though. In Iraq, you're saying it's a minority when really overwhelmingly the general majority passed this law. It's accepted by a majority, and it's okay, and it's socially accepted.
Okay. In America, Martae, in America, in 2018, New Hampshire, you could marry a 13 and a 12-year-old. Is that okay? Did you?
Oh my
something that,
Can you at least answer the hypothetical, Manar? Like the chatter just said?
marriage like that doesn't work that way. Okay, it would have to work in a way that the way that it will work is the families got together and they all consent and they all have like this idea. As again, this happened because of the societal norm of the time. Right now, if I go over there, I think the earliest would be at 17, and it will be done by the consent of both of the families still. I don't think there's any 13, 12-year-olds being married in New Hampshire at this moment. If anybody wants to prove me wrong, go ahead and do it, okay? But I'm fucking sure that it's not happening.
What I'm saying is, did you see it was a big issue in the community? Everyone marrying 12-year-olds and 13-year-olds. It's a non sequitur. Just because the state allows it.
Can we at least do it?
I'm answering you. I'm answering you as clear as possible. Just because it exists.
You're going to New Hampshire. Let's talk about your religion in Iraq.
Everyone is using it, and I don't know what this argument has to do with the whole debate. It shows cases that you're scared.
I'm not saying everybody uses it.
And you failed to represent the genetical mutation risks are actually sufficient enough to stop cousin marriage, and so now you're obfuscating to just attacking Islam in general, and it's so weak because you never made a Christian argument. So why would you even attack Islam?
He's trying to make the argument for the socially accepted issue, and this guy is just so dumb. He's like, you're just attacking the religion in general. Well, how about you just stop making it socially acceptable to little kids? How about that?
This is your belief system. This is a fact.
None of your arguments were Christian based, though. Why are you acting like you're a Christian?
It doesn't have to be. Can you at least contend with?
That's a little bit convenient, right? For you, you don't have to argue out of Christianity.
You're running.
You can argue out of.
Oh my god, this is so dumb. It's like, oh well, it's very convenient. Well, he's not talking about Islam. He's talking about how the society accepted and make it legal, and it's socially accepted over there to marry the little kids. That's the whole point. That's the socially acceptance is the point of this.
I don't know, some fucking modernity ethics. I don't know what are you arguing out of statistics?
Manar,
is this
right
what you
now
really
in
believe?
Iraq, the age of consent is 9
Do you
years
really
old.
believe this? Do you really believe cousin marriage is immoral? You really believe this?
Never, you're making arguments I'm not making. Can you at least contend with the hypothetical? In Iraq,
this is such a joke, man. Yeah, keep bringing me the 9-year-olds.
Please answer the
question. Such a joke, man.
Idiot. So the age of consent is 9 years old. This is your religion. Are you going to deny this?
Iraq is not a representative of all of Islam.
9-year-old inbred cousins. Do you think it's okay to cream pie them? Do you think that's
so?
Okay?
It's so convenient. He doesn't have to use any Christian argument, so I can't attack his Christian ethics. But he can come here and attack.
You can, but I'm just not making a Christian argument.
Who the fuck brings cream pie and a 9-year-old in the same sentence? Except
that's what you guys do in Iraq. That's what you guys are doing. So, I didn't say you couldn't attack my Christian ethical system. Nobody ever said that. Only you're saying that. Can you at least contend with the hypothetical? You're in Iraq. It's socially accepted. As a matter of fact, it's passed overwhelmingly. Everybody, and like, let's say only 3% people practice this.
Is Iraq a representative of Islam? It's a war-torn.
Yes. Not the cousin creeper. Oh my god. Like a crying little girl. He's so weird. I don't even understand like how half of his arguments make no sense. It's like non sequiturs. He just likes to spurg. Like, oh, but what about Christianity? That's pretty much what I hear every time he speaks. Nah, I'm so fucking inbred. I can make a coherent sentence. But what about Christians?
Country. What the fuck are you talking about?
It is socially accepted in your culture by the overwhelming majority in that country. We're talking about 9-year-old cousins. Is that okay?
I mean, if there's a necessity behind it, if it's like saving their lives and they're ready and they have went through the testing that they need to. And
so if a 9-year-old went to testing and it's a necessity, you can cream pie a 9-year-old.
If they refuse it, then you can't do anything with them. They can't actually. You're not allowed to do anything. Now, if there's a necessity, I don't know what the life in Iraq.
So 9-year-olds.
Maybe the life in Iraq is like the life in Gaza. The life expectancy is 25 or 30 people.
They are so respectful. They're so respectful. You know, Islamic people are so like known for being so respectful. So this Friday, I will be building this on stream.
You said dying.
Just to make sure we're staying on prompt, guys.
Thank you for showcasing that he obfuscated.
not children
cousins
marriages.
are 9 years old.
It's about
Thank you for reminding. Thank you for reminding
These
him.
are 9-year-old cousins, though.
Thank you for reminding him.
Yeah, 9-year-old cousins.
I mean, why are you scared? No. You're IFBB pro, man. You're so strong. You're a police officer. Why are you scared? Why are you scared to debate me? Why you got to bring up kids?
How am I scared to debate you when I'm literally on a panel
on the
debating
facts. Present your facts why genetic mutations are so dangerous that I should be legally not allowed to marry a woman with a Down syndrome. Present your argument.
I'm pretty sure it's from Iran.
Present it.
Okay, so you brought up New Hampshire. Let's go there since we don't want to go to Iraq right now. So you said in New Hampshire it's okay to bang your 13-year-old cousin. Do you think that that's okay?
What is happening right now?
This is your family.
Why are you qualifying it with a 13-year-old?
Because you just basically admitted that as long as she consents to it, it's fine in Iraq. But let's go back to the United States. We can do that if you're uncomfortable.
What I said was, if there's a necessity.
Yeah, pumpkin head, good to see you.
And you're showcasing that the person is ready and they're accepting it.
Which means the 9-year-old.
How can you claim it's immoral? How can you make a claim it's immoral? Is it immoral? Can you make a claim it's immoral? Go ahead.
The cousins, guys. The cousins, not the kid cousin. Yeah, pretty much. He's talking about the socially accepted stuff. Like he's trying to make. Martae is trying so hard. I feel for Martae because Martae is like trying to speak to a person that's not completely dumb, and Manar is just he just wants like no, I shall be stupid. It's like what he's saying. Oh no. Shall be retarded.
It is immoral, yeah.
Why?
The reason why is because a lot of damage can happen if she's like 7, 9 years old, especially Muhammad. I mean,
so even assume that she's ready at 9. That's what they assume. That's why they made it 9.
Wait, no, you just said as long as she's ready.
Why did they make it 9 then?
One second, both of you.
I see you reviewing the Islam and I was beyond that. He was. You all debated Manar. I still remember it despite how brief it was. Well, you know, my debate with Manar. My debate with Manar was something I didn't expect it to go the way that it went. But I knew it was gonna go that way anyway. So when I went up and for example, Paige knows this, that I don't debate scripture. I don't read the scripture. I don't debate scripture. I'm not gonna go ahead and make any arguments for scripture. I can, and I've done it very, very briefly in very specific terms, and it comes to give a little bit of interpretation. But I always say, and I will always say this: if you want to have a correct interpretation of a verse, if you want to actually understand the context, if you want to have your questions being met, I would recommend you to go to the priest, to an Orthodox church, talk to the priest, ask him the questions you want, ask him for a correct interpretation if you have questions about it. But yeah, when he invited me to debate, I was like, I had like my idea that he was gonna do some kind of claim, and I was gonna like nail him in epistemology. That was my general idea of what was gonna happen. If he wanted to go somewhere else, I could probably have done it. But the whole point of what I was pretty much thinking of and gonna do was nail him in the epistemology. And he wasn't prepared. He didn't understand what I was asking. He was like, he lost it. He just completely lost it.
Just 1 second. We keep going back to like child marriage.
I'm not the one that brought it up.
I know. The debate.
I'm going to defend myself.
Cousin marriage should be legal and socially accepted, right? Not child marriage should be.
Okay, all right. Speak easy. I'll make this easy. If society says that close family relationships are normal, how do you stop secret abuse, especially with kids, from being hidden as just family love? Wouldn't your view make it easier for bad things to stay hidden?
What? So sorry,
it's
what?
Just family love. It's just my uncle.
I have an Orthodox priest on TikTok. He's a friend. He's a pretty good apologist, very kind and well spoken. Yeah, like if you have a question about that, I would recommend that. Having a priest, having somebody to talk to when it comes to these kind of questions is good and it's great, and it's authoritative by the church. That's why I would recommend to talk to them. Okay, this is the reason why I will say that. Okay, but yeah, I don't have to debate it. Like I can use other kinds of arguments. And I can bring them to them. I feel like I would be less kind, which is even more proof that I shouldn't be debating theology ever. You can debate theological topics without actually debating theology. I did it today. I debated a theology. I debated I debated a full on weird empiricist. I have no this. Oh, this was so good, by the way. I have knowledge. How do you know you have knowledge? Well, oh well. He was like, I have knowledge. I could take it from the. If I go ahead and use the scientific method, I get knowledge. And I'm like, okay, fine. Do you think truth exists? Yes. Can you put it to the scientific method? No. And I was like, okay. And then I asked him, like, he said that there wasn't. I asked him, is 2 + 2 equals 4? And he was like, at the moment, I was like, he tried to say that there was like an infinitesimal possibility that it would be something other than 4. And I said that he always grants himself things, right? That he can say things like that. And then I asked him, like, well, let me ask you, what is the justification you have to say that there's an infinitesimal amount of it not being the case? And he said, well, I imagine, and that was the end of that, right? Because his epistemology comes from whatever he imagines, which is funny. It was really funny. My actual priests do not have a TikTok. I mean, they are people. They can have TikToks. They can do they do things. They have a life. It's just that you go to them for spiritual guidance too, right? There's a reason why.
Oh, you're talking about incestuous relationships, or?
That's what first cousin marriage is. It's incestuous. Yes.
Well. You might have a point according to your modern appeal to morality. Yeah, according to your statistics, maybe there's a risk of an increased incestuous, whatever it is. Well, presented.
That's not what
but in biblical ethics and in Islamic ethics and Leviticus law, it's clear as day. There's no forbidding this. There's nothing that showcases that Christian ethics would disagree with this.
No,
and actually, there's a showcasing that this incestuous relationships have stopped because of Adam and the time of Adam, but it doesn't showcase that these cousin marriages have stopped since Prophet Muhammad, one of the final prophets, continued to do this. Therefore, this argument of cousin marriage is incestuous, it's not grounded in Christian or Islamic ethics. Maybe it's grounded in modern.
The haters always always make a comparison with Protestantism, which is not they're not Protestantism. They are conflating a lot of different heresies and a lot of different problems when it comes to the early church that present themselves again, especially because ecumenism and other kind of cults like the cult of Nice, and they think that is like Christianity, but that's not Christianity. It's not how it works. It's not the way that it should work. It has not. So it is what it is.
Appeal to morality, but I don't know why would we even argue that. Cool. Remember, you're a Christian. Remember?
Question? Can you answer the question that what did
I just answered it. I just answered it.
No, you didn't answer the question. I'll ask it again. If society says that close family relationships are normal, how do you stop secret abuse, especially with kids, from being hidden as just family love? What, in your view, make it easier for bad things to stay hidden? That didn't answer that question.
What the fuck? So because close family is a strong relationship and it's an important thing to build and it builds a strong society, you're saying some outlier.
A close family, like having a family that is able to talk to each other, have a good time, be together, have societal have a good societal cohesion doesn't mean that doesn't mean the same. Like, doesn't mean you have to marry your cousin, by the way. You can have a good family, you can have good traditions, you can have good marriages, and you don't have to do your cousin. When it comes to theology, I was advised to ensure I have the correct treasury to engage, and humility would denote I clearly don't have that. It depends on what I'm trying. Like, I don't usually. When I'm debating, like in the internet, I don't do it through the lenses of I'm gonna be I'm gonna evangelize. That's not the point, and I don't think I am. When I was so thirsty for a theological debate, I would have a debate with him in theology, like a full-on theological, like when it comes to proper theological debates, I wouldn't have it. And the reason why is because I don't. There's better people for it. Jay Dyer is way better. Like, so.
Could be that some children are having familial love, and you're acting like I advocate for it, and I'm supporting hiding it. What is this? How many straw men in one? What is your? What are you saying? Should I advocate for these?
No idea if they have debated. That's a good question. I should probably take a look.
Familial hidden relationships between brothers and sisters. Like,
no, my question is about harm principle and abuse.
Aren't you the one? Isn't modernity the one that appeals to having a girlfriend and a boyfriend? Isn't that a disgusting depiction of a hidden relationship between strangers?
You're still not answering my question, Manar. Can you answer my question?
But you appeal to modern morality. Modern morality allows you to have a boyfriend and a girlfriend. How is that not disgusting as an adulterous habit?
An adulterous habit. He made the same accusation to me in the panel. It was like, dating? You mean like trying to meet somebody that you think you can have a future together, and go out together so that you know each other and you see if you're compatible, like that? But in reality, what he's saying is what he means by dating is not actually dating. What he's saying is extramarital relationships and stuff like that, which is completely different from dating. It's not the same thing. You remember when Stillman debated David Patrick? Yes. That was funny.
How does that answer my question, Manar?
Keep appealing to modernity. Keep appealing.
This isn't to modernity. This could be in 1500 BC or any other time. Can you answer my fucking question?
I do not advocate for children to be with each other's sisters or hide these disgusting acts of masturbation or whatever you're arguing.
IQ is so low.
So weird. He's so fucking weird.
So let me paint an easier picture for you real quick. Let's say that there's an uncle that's sleeping with his niece. Let's say that that's happening. How do you prevent the hidden dangers of people saying that there's abuse happening? Like, let's say there's abuse. How do you prevent that from just happening? Because we have the trope about the creepy uncle touching me as a kid. How do you prevent this if family members can now bang each other?
Well, let me go into Leviticus law and see if it's actually.
You're not going to answer the question.
Well, I need to go and see Leviticus law.
Well, we're listening to the complete. My apologies. We're listening to the complete destruction of Manar versus by Martae. So Martae destroyed this fucking sandy fucker. And we're just watching how he's trying to defend fucking a cousin. M plus M, Eminem.
What are you appealing to? Are you appealing to Leviticus law? Because maybe in Leviticus law, the cousin is not allowed to marry the nephew.
My question is against harm and abuse towards minors and family. How do you prevent this? Can you answer the question?
How can I prevent the disgusting uncle from?
Well, he's not disgusting because you could be an uncle and you're arguing for banging your niece, which is your cousin.
And by the way, in Leviticus law, it's forbidden for the uncle to be with his niece. And in Islamic law.
Okay, so let's say a cousin is older, and there's a younger cousin. How do you prevent abuse from happening that's hidden under the guise of it's just love from family, and it's hidden abuse? How do you prevent this?
So how do I prevent this schizophrenic? Are you having a schizophrenic episode? Are you having?
Yeah, it was a funny one.
Schizophrenic Martae. Where is this familial love happening? What are you talking about? What am I trying to stop right now? Martae, what am I trying to stop right now? I don't understand.
I'll ask you another question.
Okay. Ask me again, but make the point on why you're asking me this.
Wait, I think I can bridge a gap here. What's happening? Because Martae is asking about a niece and an uncle, but I think Manar is saying I don't advocate that.
And that's fine. Let's say if it's an older cousin and a younger cousin, how do you prevent abuse from that situation from happening? Under the guise of it's just family love.
Well, in Islam and in Christian ethics, we don't allow adultery. We want them to be married to one another. We don't advocate for them to.
Emmett wants us all to take in his beautiful mug. Oh man, so dumb.
Be adulterous. Do you understand what I'm arguing?
I'm not making an argument against adultery or for adultery. I'm saying these two people want to get married. How do you prevent abuse from happening in the family? How do you stop secret abuse, especially with people that are just turning 18? Like you're just of age. How do you prevent abuse from like an older cousin?
The same way we've always prevented abuses.
Family love, that's all it is.
The same way we've always prevented abuses with familial checkups, keeping a close ties with the family, and having a strong relationship with them, advocating for the family to stay close to them, including her mother, her grandmother, her aunt.
Sorry, that's the closest answer. You know what? I'll even accept that. So, Manar, nature pushes people to mix genes with outsiders for stronger, healthier kids. Why go against that by promoting close family inbreeding that weakens gene pools over time?
You argue that it weakens it. Only your evidence that you have is the risk of first cousin marriages. But without, if we were to allow,
he still doesn't understand the whole point of and what they've been talking about, which is. Wait, I've been reading top chat. That is wrong. About more people being angry at me that I didn't see. That's fine. It doesn't matter. David. Only question says on the sword. Real. Somewhere me and tempting, but now I'm more aware of that. I'm doing better than last year. Okay. Good to hear that you're doing better. He might be working, Bill. So it might take a little while for him to reply. Yeah, so the whole point here is, well, it's we are marrying them. But even if that was the case, like, what let's say that you have an uncle. Uncle is about 22 years old, and he's like, sees 9-year-old little cousin. It's like, yeah, I want to marry her. Would that be wrong? I think Manar would have to say no. Right?
And
then if she gets abused through the whole thing,
egregious effects.
It's not abuse at that point because they're married.
They're only attributable to 7% of these cousin marriages. They are negligent almost. And I'm telling you, to the maximum, are almost negligent. And the 7%, you're able to reduce them further with extra research. So, did I not answer your question correctly?
So, if you are breeding outside of your family, do you think that would make mostly stronger genes or weaker genes outside your family?
Not necessarily. You don't know if he's a carrier of a certain gene. The only reason for cousin marriage.
What do you think at the top of your head? Do you believe that there's a higher indication of stronger genes outside of your family, or keeping it within your family making stronger genes? Which one's going to promote stronger genes?
According to modern data and science, it shows that anything past first cousin, second, third, fourth cousin, negligible.
It's kind of weird that he goes on ahead and uses like this scientific pseudo argument because he's not understanding what Martae said. Martae said it is kind of negligible until you start compounding it. So it's a compound interest every time you do it, and as the generations go, the higher the risk is. And he's like hand waving it. It's like, well, if you do it once, it doesn't matter. But that's not what he's saying in reality. His claim is it's not, there's no problem even if you do cross-generationally, which is dumb. Like, I don't even know how would I defend that claim, to be honest.
The risk of it associated with the genetic mutation is negligible. So second, third, and fourth cousin marriages, totally as normal as strangers marrying. First cousin, there could be an increased risk because they're a little bit closer to each other. And so if they are carrying these genes, there could be a higher risk.
Okay, let's say it's negligible and it's just 2%. Do you think that multiplies over time, keeping it in the family?
No, not necessarily.
We never go outside the family. Does that double and triple over time?
Well, like, is that a bad thing? Like, is it bad that everyone has the...
Is it bad that you have, did you increase the risk of genetic defects in your family?
Same facial structure as the grandfather as me? Like, is that a bad thing? I'm mugging shit out of you right now. I mean, is that a bad trait for my...
Does this
I hope my lineage has my jawline for the rest of history.
So you're still not answering. You're like a question avoiding machine right now. Can you answer my fucking question? So if you keep it in the family, does this multiply it over time?
If I keep it in the family, does it multiply?
Does it increase or subtract over time?
I don't know. I don't have any idea.
It increases over time. Matter of fact, there's multipliers that happen when you keep it in the family, meaning that if you go outside of the family, you decrease this and you eliminate recessive genes that go outside of the family. Because, like I said in my opening statement, if you have a bad gene and then you meet somebody without a bad gene, you decrease the risk of this. But the increase of somebody with the same bad gene, like the CFT gene that we came up with, it increases over the time, and the chances of this happening for you to not outbreed this bad gene increase as well too.
Yeah, but the argument is about risk. Even when you're marrying strangers, there's a risk for your genetic offspring to have a genetic mutation.
Is the risk mitigated when you go outside your family or increased?
It's not mitigated at all. It never mitigates. You can never mitigate the risk.
Gene pool. Wait, hold on. Did I hear that correctly? It's not mitigated when you go outside your gene pool?
You don't. I mean, not second, third, and fourth cousins. You don't actually have any risk.
You notice how you're moving further outside of your family and proving my whole point? You're going further.
I thought your whole argument is against cousin marriage. I didn't know it was only against first cousin marriage. You see how you don't have an argument except against first cousin marriage?
I do.
See how you actually have no marriage. Well, I didn't step out. I'm appealing to third and fourth and second cousin marriages. I mean, maybe you have a point when it comes to the first cousin marriages.
But you know what you have to do when you appeal the first, the second, and third kid. You're going further from your gene pool to do this. You're literally proving my whole argument correct.
No, your argument is cousin marriage is incestuous. That's your argument.
The more further you get outside your gene pool, the healthier family gets. The closer you get into this, you're actually increasing risk. Is that correct?
Not necessarily, because all these risks.
Not necessarily. Not necessarily. When you're compounding, the problem is the compound effect. So when you're doing it once, it's like there's no problem. If you're doing, if all of your family are just fucking same cousins and you're gonna fuck the same cousin pool, all of them are becoming closer and closer together. The whole problem with this is that cross-generationally, the amount of cross-generationally, you have this kind of compounding. If this is what he was talking about, the interest. The compound interest. You're going to end up having more and more problems with the lineage. And if you don't get away, if you don't go out of that, it's going to end up in creating all of the problems that we've seen.
Associated with consanguineous pregnancies or marriages are mitigatable with the correct screening, genetic screening, and genetic counseling. So all
do you think there's an increase? Is there an increased need for screening the further you go outside your family, or a more of an increased screening with the more you keep it in your family? The closer gene pool you have.
The national average is not 0. The national average is like 3% of genetic mutations.
That's actually with incestuous relationships is 3%, and actually below that.
No, it's 2 to 4%. It's literally 2 to 4%. Look at the national average, and then the incestuous relation go to 4, 6, or 7.
Well, let me pull up this data because obviously you have to see it to believe it. This is insane. It's 4% when you keep it in the family, but it decreases below that.
It's negligent. It's only in first cousin marriage. Second and third and fourth cousin marriage is negligible. If his whole argument is against first cousin marriage.
So first cousin marriage, higher risk, right?
It's not about that. I'm just saying if your argument is about the genetic
first cousin marriage, right?
If your argument is the genetic mutations and risk associated with cousin marriage, that's only associated with first cousin marriage, the numbers that you're talking about. They're not talking to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth cousin marriages. So are those immoral? Are those illegal and acceptable? Do you concede that at least? Do you concede second cousin marriage is acceptable?
Yeah, he's going on and being like, actually, I was talking about the... But no, there wouldn't be. There wouldn't be if we have a population that's just marrying the cousin. That's the whole point. The false ones will burn at higher temperature. The divining every day. Yep. I'm glad you're reading the book, Paige. Hope you're enjoying it.
Because the risk is negligent.
My question about how we
get can you concede? Would you concede that? Would you concede that so we can move on? Would you concede? Second cousin marriage is acceptable.
It got to that. So in order for you to have something legally passed, it has to be socially accepted for the most part.
I thought you disagreed with me. You disagreed with me.
Like, I'm a little bit... It's impossible for Martae to get anywhere because he won't answer any question, right? But at the end of the day, you can actually make the case. It's like, this is a compound problem. The more you do it and the closer you are, the more it becomes a problem, especially for the next generations. This is why we see this, the IQs everywhere over there being borderline retarded.
It's all first cousin marriage.
Also, you never answered my question about how people can buy onto this. All you did was say, throw money at this and you'll fix it.
No, I didn't say throw money. I say technological advancements in medicine.
Bodybuilder, you're gonna look like a twig, bro. Like you
look, listen to my argument. In general, in all of human history, all of humanity was dying early. We're getting diseases very early. In technological advancement helped a lot. All of medicine benefited, all of it together, with the inclusion of cousin marriages and non-cousin marriages, stranger marriages as well. So yes, I am appealing sometimes to the technological advancements and how they can actually, support the human race. What's wrong with that? Yes, cousin marriage is negligible according to the medical technological advancement that we have. It's negligible, second, third, and fourth cousin, and it's only risk associated. The highest is in the first cousin marriage, and those are also negligible if you do the proper procedures of mitigation.
Yeah, if you use the screen, right? But how you do the screen in the past? There's no way to do a screen in the past. And even if we don't even understand all of the screen, like we don't even understand all of the problems that may be caused. We have certain understanding of how the genetic code works, but we don't really know all of it. We don't really understand how much of all of it. So it's still risky, and you're still gonna have risk involved.
Which is genetic counseling and screening. That's all.
So remember when I asked this?
Because and then you go, and as a first cousin marriage, your offspring, their risk of them becoming genetically mutated with sickle cell anemia goes back to the national average the moment you do genetic counseling and screening. So what's wrong with me saying
that doesn't even make any sense, and I'll tell you why it doesn't make sense. The fact that you need screening for something and extra precautions from something we can avoid by keeping it out of the family just tells you everything you need to do. Matter of fact, tell you what, if I tell people abstinence is good and you'll never have to get tested, never have to get screening if you don't F around and find out. But then what your argument is making is saying, hey, as long as we sleep around, as long as we're getting testing, it's fine. That's literally.
Yeah, he did the whole debate, and then he stayed on for a while, and then he continued. I think he started early. He went on a little while, and then he continued afterwards. So AC had already finished his whole stream, and he was still going when I started my own stream.
Your argument right now is saying, you know what, as long as we get tested, it's fine, but the increase happens. You've never debunked this. You never said it doesn't increase in the family. What you said is it's negligible. Negligible can mean anything, and that doesn't tell anybody or the audience anything about what you're talking about. Because what happens, and let me get the facts straight. Let me get 10 more seconds real quick. Because if you're sleeping with cousins, the chances go up. Let's say it is negligible, like I said in my opening statement, 2 to 3%. Well, guess what? It's 6%. Then it's 15%.
All right.
Then it's 20%.
Now that my opponent conceded that the only problem he can see with genetic mutations is first cousin marriage, and I got him to this point. Now I'm going to also argue why first cousin marriage is actually still more.
So then again, we go back into the whole thing, right? I hope I'm going to talk to Martae. I'm going to ask him to do one thing. He doesn't have to do his opening statement syllogisms, but I would ask him to do syllogisms. I would recommend him to do syllogisms so that he's able to go ahead and just have these dumb statements, and he's able to think about them real quick and understand where in the syllogism they end up, right? Martae is going to be Terrafork tomorrow, and then he's doing me versus Scale debate review. Oh, he's gonna do the you versus Scale? When is he gonna do that? I might join him. The you versus Scale debate is one of the beginning of the debate is one of the biggest takedowns I've ever seen in my life. Like, the only reason it didn't end up in a complete humiliation was because she got saved. And I don't mean that as bad. It's just what it is. She got saved. And it got you, and I think it also caught you by surprise. It was like, what is she even saying this? So, yeah.
Yeah, you concede. You're right. Your whole argument is first cousin marriage right now. It's nothing else. You're not arguing against cousin marriage.
Even if you go to second cousin marriage, it actually goes up. You still have multipliers that happen. You're not weeding
out.
Yeah,
but it's negligible.
When you go to first cousin, second
cousin. It's negligible. It's equal to the national average. It's not even higher than the national average. It's negligible.
Remember when I asked you if it goes up or down? You couldn't answer that. And you couldn't contend with the question. It actually goes down the further you go outside of your gene pool. You're having stronger genes. And then I asked you this: does it weaken or get stronger? You still couldn't even answer this. Actually, let me give you the answer. Your gene pool gets stronger when you start introducing new, fresh genes into the gene pool, and you start weeding out old recessive genes that no longer are functional. That's how how you clean this out. You know the recycle bin on your computer. You hit refresh. The only way you can refresh.
Yeah, where in the Bible? Where in the Bible is this verse? Where in the Bible is this verse that you brought it up? Have you?
It's like when, yeah, he just goes back to the Bible, right? So every time he goes ahead and gets cornered into consequentialist idea, he just goes back into the Bible. So you have to, yeah. If again, nobody has to listen to me as a great tier debater, right? But if I want to be, and I do this all the time, I did this against JS the other day. JS was making a consequentialist idea, and I'm like, hey, we're gonna go into consequentialism. So if you're saying this about the consequences of the actions, and this is gonna happen because of this consequence, like, where are you getting, like, how do you know that the consequence of this is actually going to be good or bad? And he went to a completely different stand. Like, he run away from the consequentialism at those points. Like, no, we have to talk about something else, right? We're talking about consequences. Like, Martae is doing a consequentialist argument. He's saying, look, if you go ahead and destroy the gene pool of the family by doing very close relative marriages, especially in long-term marriages, this is created a big problem. Like, it cannot be done. And the other guy is like, well, where does it say it in the Bible? It's like, the fuck cares? Like, that's not the argument. You know, if you want to make an argument, if he's asking you about the consequentialism, you can attack the consequentialist position and be like, how do you know, for example, or where are you getting this kind of ideas from the consequences, right? But going to the Bible makes absolutely no sense in this instance. It's like, it doesn't make any sense.
Appeal to the Bible once this argument, this debate.
I don't
it's
have
been an
to
hour and a
destroy
half.
the
I've been
position.
debating you. I've been debating
I
you
don't
for an
have to
hour and a
appeal to
half.
the
Did you
Bible to
appeal to a
destroy the
singular
argument.
Christian ethical argument?
I don't have to destroy your dumbass argument.
So don't act like you're a Christian Christian ethics person, or you're a Christian that debates.
By using logic?
Crusader.
By
You
appealing to the logo?
are a progressive. You're a liberal. Look at you. All your arguments are how first cousin marriage creates genetic mutations that are noticeable, even though you recognize the technological advancements. I guess your argument is,
Can you tell me how that's liberal
without
argument?
these technological advancements.
What technological advancements? What technological advancements are we gonna do? But this an idiot and a representative of base Christianity. Sorry, not sorry. I don't think he's doing a bad job right now. He's just going ahead and just making the. He's trying to make the argument that he's trying to make. The whole point of the argument in here is the one's making a complete red herring, and the other one is trying to do the consequentialist argument. And he doesn't need to give you any kind of moral, ethical framework when it comes to not fucking your cousin. He can make that determination directly from an argument of consequence. Like, you can do that in Christian ethics. It's fine. Okay? Is it? And I made this argument before. It's like, is it illegal to mine gold? No, it's not illegal. It should be. It's immoral? No. And the Christian ethics is also not immoral. But let's say that you have a mine, you're the boss, and you know that if you send people down there, they're gonna die. Would it be immoral to do that? Yeah. I'm talking overall, you dumb you. I don't know what you drink today, man. Are we not, man? But I'm only you on Saturdays.
A Christian that debates.
You
are a progressive. You're a liberal. Look at you. All your arguments are how first cousin marriage creates genetic mutations that are noticeable, even though you recognize the technological advancements. I guess your argument is,
can you tell me how that's
without these technological advancements, the human race would be destroyed because all these cousin marriages. That's all you have. You have nothing. And sure, I mean, without these technological advancements, sure, we would be 30 years old.
So, Manar, you just made a claim. Do conservatives appeal to science and nature in reality?
But that's not their whole argument. Their argument does not disagree with the Bible. They don't disagree with the Bible and then act like they're Christians. They don't go and say that the prophets of God are immoral, and then they say they're Christians. They don't do that.
Back this shit up real quick that you just fucking said. Do conservatives
on.
Appeal to science, nature, and reality as well too?
So what's wrong? Yeah, you can a little bit. You can not only you cannot make your whole argument about appeal to modernity. Your whole argument is an appeal to modernity. It's not a Christian argument. So I'm correct. The Christian Bible, you did not ever argue against me that the Christian Bible allows cousin marriage. You just start to belittle your own Bible, which is fucking hilarious. Trying to argue that I by omission, basically forcing that your Bible would actually, I guess, lie to us. It wouldn't actually tell us what's forbidden. You know better than the Bible. Okay, so you're here humiliating the Bible, humiliating the prophets of your actual religion.
And you did. I never brought up the biblical argument. That was you initially that did that.
Okay, but you disagreed with my Leviticus argument that Leviticus does not actually not forbid cousin marriage.
You said omitting it means allowance, which is the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
Agree with me. It's crazy. I present you evidences from your own Bible.
My best friend, you literally just went to some asinine statement. Which
and then
is crazy.
finally, his best argument, guys, is that first cousin. He agrees in the end. Second and third.
I present the arguments from my dad. Don't act like you don't know I'm controversial. I know you're controversial. It's okay. He's got like a little bit. No, he got mad. He wants to get outside. Let me get him outside.
Third and fourth cousin are negligible. You don't even see the differences between the national average. I only have a subjective problem with first cousin marriage because I believe that first cousin marriage has a small extra chance. Well, yeah, 40-year-old women that have children have a higher chance. Should we stop them from having children? Should we? I'm asking you. Can you answer yes or no? They have a higher risk. It's attributable. No, you're not. He's not going to answer. So I've been answering his questions for an hour. Look how small this guy is. He won't even answer a single one of my questions. That's crazy.
It's irrelevant because we're not talking about having a baby. Doesn't mean having a baby doesn't mean it's going to be bad for the mother at all. In fact, it's good. It's good for the people. Okay. Even if you think about pure consequentialism, I don't think there might be bad consequences, but they're not necessarily horrible. Even if you see like there's an increased risk of mortality in a sense, it's not. There are reasons why you can say that it's understandable, but what you cannot do is the other way around. You cannot say that it's understandable for cousins to be married at all. I don't think you can do it at all. Like when you could talk about the full consequentialist, like you're destroying your family. Okay, in the long run, you're destroying your family. So you are creating a problem when it comes to the inbreeding that it will be so high at the end of the day that it's going to destroy the family. That's the problem.
I'm going to ask you again. I hope you answer it immediately. I've been answering your questions for an hour. It's your turn. Give me 2 minutes.
No, first of all, my questions you still haven't answered. What are you talking about?
You get a whole hour. I've been answering your questions. A whole hour you've been grabbing this debate. You can't even answer one question.
No, you haven't answered those questions. Can you tell me how people in society can buy onto this and you can?
I've been answering your questions for an hour. Why can't you answer my question?
And I can give you 5 other questions you didn't answer.
Can you answer my question though?
So only you want answers from me, but I can get answers from you.
I've been answering your question for an hour.
Let's get back to the prompt right
now.
Yeah,
let's try this then. Since you're both saying no one's answering the question, Martae, ask the question. Manar, directly answer the question, then ask yours, and then Martae directly answer that.
So in the society, because in order to pass a law, you have to make society accept this and vote for this and make mandates for this to socially accept this. Let's say that we have an app.
Yeah, it is kind of too much. Well, he made a bait and switch. He tried to say, well, it's only second, third, and fourth, and fifth cousin. Like, first cousin is off the table. Let's talk about the other cousins. Manar equals perk, Martae equals perk. But yeah, it is kind of crazy. And the whole point is the reason why I can even make the ethical claim that you're doing something against your family if you allow these kind of things, right? Because you're destroying the family at the end of the day. So that could be a proper argument as well.
Rating plus. That's literally what it is and what you're arguing for tonight. How are you going to market this besides throwing money at it? Because money was thrown at every community and it was a failure. EBT was a failure. It doesn't help people out. Indians were given, I would say, reparations where the country where Speakeasy lives, and that didn't help them out. They still stay destitute. Throwing money at problems doesn't help. How are you going to market this to people and make it appealing for them?
Yeah, it's already appealing. It's extremely appealing for people to know that they're gonna have close familiar relationships, that the community, that the government is going to disattach with them and allow them to govern themselves in their own patch of land and start building a familial community.
Oh my God, he went for the full libertarian argument. Oh my, oh, what the fuck am I listening to? We're gonna have a little patch of land. We're gonna be Islamis there. Yeah. Jesus.
And start building
It's not like they try to conquest everywhere they go, right?
A legacy and something to look up to for the future, for your offspring. Yeah, it would be amazing if we would sell it as, let's start having Amish-like groups and communities where we can go and be self-sufficient on our own lands and our own communities, where the government does not associate with us in any way. A lot of people would love this. A lot of religious people would love this, especially the conservatives would jump on the idea of owning a farm and building a community of 11 farms next to each other, and all of them are close families, and all of them are tight knit to one another. My question to you is, if it's
sales tactic,
why is it illegal for 40-year-olds to marry, and how does that not showcase that? How is that not showcasing that your argument is a failure, that the government actually allows these high-risk marriages and children reproducing? They make them legal, even though there's a high risk associated with these genetic offsprings. They still allow them to happen. And how does your argument, if we were to believe it and to follow it, does not lead us to genetic superiority and supremacy, where only the best genomes are allowed?
I want to see Manure in the fist fight with James Live Talk. I want to see James win. I don't know how in shape James is, but that would be fun. That would be fun to watch, especially if James kicks his ass. You cannot disagree with you, David.
To exist, and the rest are not allowed out. They're just funneled out of existence.
So you're going to ask two questions and ask me to consider.
Answer the second one. Answer the second one.
Why? Well, no, both of them, because I'm that generous and I can answer questions unlike you. So the first thing you said, how is it not illegal? How is it not legal for 40-year-olds to get married? Not once did I say that. Nowhere else is it illegal for 40-year-olds to get married.
Yeah, but they have the same genetic risk.
That's a bullshit question. Nobody says it's illegal.
No, they don't have the same genetic risk, you moron. Oh. No, not at all. They don't have the same genetic risk at all. No.
Yeah, but their offspring have the same genetic risk of mutation as cousin marriage.
Okay, do I interrupt you when you're asking questions?
You're not consistent. I'm showcasing you're not consistent.
You're not consistent. They don't have the same genetic risk. The risk is not associated with their genetics. The risk is associated with their age. Is age genetics? Like, oh my God. I'm 30-year-old. I have the genes. My genes are different now. Illegal for 40-year-olds to get married. He's saying that if 40-year-olds get married, you should be able to fuck your cousin. Okay, that's what he's saying.
Oh, this is asinine. But anyways, I'll answer your question. So when you talk about this, we've already proven that the gene pool gets stronger the further you get out of your families and recessive genes, and you're close in the gene pool. Right there, that debunks everything you were saying, and you have yet to debunk that or prove me wrong. This whole debate, that's an L for you, bro. Sucks to be you.
Okay, man.
All right, so that would be the end of the hour of open floor, but I always like to ask when I feel like there may be a little bit of iron left to sharpen, just keeping in mind that we still have the 30-minute Q&A after. If you would both like another 30 minutes of open floor.
Would you give me 30 minutes? Would you give me 30 minutes?
I know
your argument. I need to know your argument about these older women getting married. Why is that acceptable when they have the same risk factors and are almost equal in their risk factors with cousin marriages? That's totally cool for you, but only.
H water doesn't hurt vinegar. That's Mr. Stupid from the jump. Yeah, it is. The problem that we're having right now. I'm gonna go eat some pizza now. I hope. Oh, you mean pizza? Nah, have a good one, Aruna, man. Thanks for joining. Yeah, the whole problem with it is genetic. It's a compounding genetic problems that if everybody, let's say that you have a family and all of them are just marrying their cousins all together. Okay, from the first to the fifth, but all together just intermarrying each other. The problem is that every single generation is increasing the amount of risk to get some of the genetics problems. That's the problem. That is the big That's the big issue. And the closer they are, the more likely the problem is. So let's say that you have, they all start marrying like in between each other, and there's first, second, third, and fourth cousin marriage. At the fifth generation, they're still doing the same thing. They're gonna have a huge problem when it comes to their genetic material. The point that they might be stupid. Yeah, pizza, you fucking weirdo. I don't know. Maybe you're using, maybe you're the guys that like cheese pizza. You fucking weirdo.
First cousin marriage is extremely detrimental and should be illegal. Your whole argument right now is it's not socially acceptable. That's it. That's all you're appealing to. This is not a debate tactic for you to appeal to social acceptability. You're just embarrassing yourself. So I'm giving you a chance to save yourself.
So you guys both want another 30 minutes, I guess?
At least 10 minutes. At least 10 minutes.
Let's do it.
You know how you just asked the question and then just went to filibuster?
Give me 10 minutes,
crazy, right? Speaking,
Enjoy your pizza.
So Manar, can you ask a question and just leave it at that instead of filibustering after that?
Listen to me. According to you, your biggest argument is one, socially it's very hard to make acceptable for cousins to be married, and you have to make some sort of social acceptance kind of a
people are going to buy into an inbreeding dating app.
Reprogramming.
Yeah. You haven't
explained they don't like cousin.com.
No,
nobody will show up. Nobody will sign up to cousin.com. I disagree.
No, you're
anyway,
I
disagree.
And when you did bring up the Amish
stepsister
percentages and the small digits that happen in their communities, that's a recessive gene. That's one of the biggest problems that the Amish community has. So you're actually bringing up communities that have issues in genetic recessive genes that we should weed out. The Amish community is actually complicit with this. So when it comes to recessive genes, you just pinpointed one of the communities in my opening statement that has a deficiency that needs to be weeded out. But because they don't go outside of the community, they can't weed out this recessive gene. You've never provided the solution for this at all throughout this whole debate, bro.
Because I don't ground my morality based on who can provide the recessive gene and who doesn't. That's what you are doing.
Oh my god. What a retard. Are we really gonna have another 30 minutes of these?
You are grounding your morality based on the statistical data and the effects of them onto the society. Well, you're saying it's wrong. You're saying it's wrong. This is the whole debate. You're saying it's wrong. That's moral. You're telling us
that's what is.
I'm not grounding
right now.
Okay, I'm not grounding my morality based on these genetic mutations. You are the one grounding this whole debate based on these genetic mutations.
People that are basically developing flippers right now because they don't go outside of this community.
I ground my morality in Leviticus law. Leviticus law allows me to be married to my cousin. You're saying marrying my cousin might create some sort of disorders. I'm telling you a lot of things because that's your argument. You're the one appealing to these genetic mutations. I'm saying that's cool. A lot of things can lead to genetic mutations. That's not a reason to stop it from happening. You can still marry a 40-year-old. All of us heard that. You can still marry a 40-year-old and still produce some genetic defects, and I would still make it moral for you and acceptable because the genetic mutations are not my grounding of ethics. My grounding of ethics is Leviticus law. Your grounding of ethics is that mutation. So when that mutation is occurring all throughout your society in different aspects, 40-year-old women, Down syndrome couples, couples with lumps, like we agreed and disagreed.
But it's not true, because if they believed in Levitical law, they would be calling themselves something other than Muslims, okay? And they will be just doing the things that the Jews do. In fact, where are the sacrifices? If that is the case, if he believes that is the basis of his morality, where's the temple? Where are the sacrifices in the temple? Okay, why are they not rebuilding? I'm not gonna even ask that question. That's too heretical. But the point is,
Agreed. How do you reconcile that these couples are producing these genetic defects in your community, and would your argument lead us to getting rid of these people from the community? That's my question. Because you're the one grounding your ethics and your legality to that genetic compass.
Okay, I'll answer this right now, but I need no interruptions. Can you promise me you're not going to interrupt because I haven't interrupted you this last time? Okay, now listen. This is how you do this. You go further outside your family. You're going to decrease and mitigate this. You've already conceded that you can mitigate this.
Oh, he's just doing the consequentialism, but he doesn't know the terminology. It's like you can come to... Those are not the basis, right? The basis of the moral claims come from the Christian ethics, but in Christian ethics you can come to conclusions and you can use consequences for that. Yeah, of course you can use consequences. If this is going to have a bad consequence for your family, especially in the long run, you can avoid those kind of actions. It's like it is bad because the thing that we're doing leads to wrong places, and that is an actual correct statement that can be used in a moral in a non-moral relativistic way.
When you go further outside your family, so when you're talking about is cousins, you actually don't mitigate this. You actually increase the chances of this happening. We both actually agree on this. You actually took an L on this. So when you bring up Leviticus law and all that should happen before Mosaic law. Mind you, that's what happened. If we're going to talk about the Bible, let's really talk about it. And then not to mention this, you said
Martae, sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. But did you switch your mic?
Can you hear me now, or is it loud?
I hear you, but it sounds like you're far away again a little bit.
Okay, how's that sound?
Much better. There you go.
Okay.
Much better.
So you actually talked about Leviticus law, Levitical law. It's not Leviticus law. So when you talked about this, you said that.
I'm trying to understand where we're going with, because they're stupid. That's why, Charles. Okay, let me tell you something. When you have you have like 60 IQ and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, you advocate for stupid stuff. But the whole point is so they have a just like Christians try to have the idea of to try to be like Christ or Christ-like and follow his commands. They have the idea of follow Muhammad and follow his life and his commands. And during his life, he married I think his daughter to a cousin or his son to a cousin or some stupid shit like that, or he married a cousin. I don't know. The point is they believe that since he did it, it's fine. Pretty much that's they're appealing to their authority, which is in this case Muhammad.
When you omit things, it means that it's okay. Is that correct? I just want to go over that one more time.
Oh my God. What does that have to do with me asking you a question that you didn't answer? Did you answer my question? I asked for 10 minutes so you can answer my question.
If you're going, no, this
I'm going to ask you the question one more time. Martae, I'm going to ask you the question one last time. You are grounding your ethics and your whole legal debate based on the genetic mutations and the risks associated with certain couples.
That's part of it.
Yeah,
that's part of it.
And the second part is the social acceptance. That's baloney. I'm worried about this right now. This part of you're grounding your whole debate based on the genetic risks associated with certain couples getting married.
Yes, it's a consequentialist argument. It's the consequences of the action are bad. How do you know they're bad? They lead to the destruction of your family. They lead to having way more comorbidities and be less likely to have a proper family. Is he Pakistani? He's an Iranian, so he's Irani.
If it is true, do you also agree that all couples, because that produce genetic
so we don't know that exactly. It's a theory that's going around that older couples produce like more people being autistic or whatever. I'm gonna press X on that. I don't think that is the case exactly. I think we have, especially in the West and especially in first world countries, we have over diagnosed kids and people with supposed mental diseases that have no groundings. Okay, now he says that it has to do with the genetics, but there's no reason to believe that is the case. Okay, I don't think that is the case at all whatsoever. I thought the Persian people had better morals. No, they were conquered by the Muslims.
An increase in genetic risks.
Not the crazy the guys that used to be like some of the brightest of the entire world, and now they're the dumbest in the world. Yeah.
Also should not get married and repopulate the earth. Do you agree with that?
I'm not making an absolute claim.
I'm asking you, do you agree with that? If you believe that the genetic risk associated with certain couples getting married, and you are...
He keeps making this idea of genetics mean age, and I don't know where he got this from. Like... Yeah, I don't know where it comes from at all.
Argue that first cousin, maybe you argue second and third, I don't know anymore. Let's say you argue first cousin marriage makes a genetic risk and it actually doubles the genetic risk of associated with sickle cell anemia. So you proved that, and you're saying that's why I believe. And another argument is social acceptance. You're saying that. I'm saying, okay, let's grant that to you, because first cousin marriage increases the possibility and the risk and doubles the risk of sickle cell anemia. We should ban all first cousin marriage. Doesn't it also expand to banning all 40-year-old women marrying, because they also have a doubling in genetic sickle cell anemia and genetic mutation risks on their babies? Doesn't it also entail that we should also ban all Down syndrome couples from having children and getting married, according to your own argument, which is a genetic supremacy argument, that they will increase the risk, the risk associated with the offspring has been increased, therefore we should not allow them to repopulate, right? Isn't that isn't that the implication of your argument?
This is my argument, so I can.
You know how people have phantom limb sensation? I wish I would get phantom B vitamin energy boost from terminal from me. Yeah, Kron sucks. I agree with you.
Can kind of make a one-size-all argument for our answer for you. I think that when we have people, and we always tell women this too, you don't want to stave off having kids till you're older, because guess what happens? You increase the risk. What I'm doing is I'm making a mitigation argument. How do you mitigate that? Make sure you don't have kids when you're 40. That's how we prevent this. When I make the same argument about family, make sure that you're not banging your cousin to mitigate these risks. So in order to do this, what are we going to do? Precautions, so that way you don't need testing, you don't need genetic resources. Mind you, when we talk about health cost and premium cost and all this, you avoid all that shit when you actually go outside your family and have kids with people and marry people outside your family. You actually mitigate the risk when you say, hey, don't wait till you're 40 and do this. You see how that works? I'm actually making an argument to mitigate risk, not saying that we should ban or stop all this. I'm saying that we should say that no, it should be outlawed outright. So I'm gonna it sounds like I'm making double speak right now, but I'm making a mitigation argument and saying you shouldn't wait till you're 40 to have kids. You shouldn't wait till you're 50 to have kids. You shouldn't say, hey, there's nobody else to bang but my cousin. That's bad. We have movies like The Hills Have Eyes, Wrong Turn. I know these are exaggerated scenarios. You probably have never seen these movies, but they're villages that stuck together. And I'm pretty sure that these were tight-knit communities. But guess what? These recessive genes were so pronounced that this guy had like a lump on his face and all this. There's no way that they could weed this out. But guess what? I have a solution for them. Bang people outside of your family. And then guess what? You start weeding out these recessive genes. I have a solution for 40-year-olds. Don't wait till you're 40 to have kids. And then you reduce the chances of you having risks that happen. There's my solution. There's your answer to both hypotheses that you brought up.
He's muted. Oh my god. Okay. So I'm gonna have to leave it here today. Tomorrow I'll continue this review real quick. I'm gonna leave it because tomorrow I have an appointment with one of my doctors. I have to get my new scleral lenses and see if these ones are gonna get fitted. Every time I try them on, I have to have the option to see the doctor in case I have a problem with them. So it's gonna take a while. I think the maternal age thing needs restudied. My grandma was 50 when she had my dad, and he was like most fit, creative, healthy. I think there's a lot of like I believe that we are going through a process when we are pretty much just over like we see any kind of problem with a kid and we just pretend that he has any kind of certain kinds of diseases. I can understand my making a reference to wrong term, but The Hills Have Eyes was I don't know. I know what you mean, but it is what it is. So I'll continue tomorrow. Let me see if anybody's streaming right now. If anybody is, I'll probably send you over there. So I see Teriak.
Infidelity with
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and send it to Teriak. So whoever's here, go on, click on the link, go over there for a little while. Tell him I sent you so that he knows. I need to go ahead and get a little bit of rest. I'll continue tomorrow. Friday, I'm gonna be building. Maybe not even Friday. I'm so excited. I'm stoked. So maybe it's gonna be Thursday. It's possible that I start building my first Warhammer Mini and see how it goes. I'm gonna try to add a little bit of I bought magnets, so I'm probably trying to get the torso to be able to take them off and on, just the hands, see how it goes. Because I'm gonna be doing that for the Terminators. I'm gonna have them. I bought extra stuff, so I'm gonna be able to change weapons, which is something I want to do. Good job, and see you later, Darwin. Thank you for passing by. Thank you everybody who was here and listened to this whole thing. I hope you all have an excellent day, and that the God bless you all. Don't fuck your cousin, okay? Don't be a retard. Take care of yourselves, and yeah, be seeing you around. Take really good care.
Emmet.